After half a year away on business, my wife jumped into my arms and said she wanted a child. But this move aroused my suspicion. She wouldn't be already pregnant, would she? Want me to be the fall guy? After all, I often go on business trips. If she brought another man home, I wouldn't know. To clear my wife's name, the next day, I installed cameras in every room of the house, and told my wife that the company had something temporary and I had to go on a business trip. Then I went to a rental apartment I had prepared earlier, opened my phone, and began to monitor every move at home. A whole week passed. My wife was very normal. Until the 8th day, she put on beautiful makeup and happily went out. I immediately thought she was going on a date, so I got into the rented car and kept my eyes fixed on the main door downstairs. Soon I saw my wife's figure. I got out of the car and carefully followed her, and found that her destination was the vegetable market. I breathed a sigh of relief. An hour later, my wife came home carrying a large bag of vegetables. I returned to the car and continued to observe. In the picture, after putting the vegetables on the table, my wife took out her phone and dialed a number. When are you coming over? 3 more hours? Okay, I got it. Who is coming over? My heart jumped to my throat. I endured 3 agonizing hours. Suddenly there was a knock on the door. My wife happily went to open it. A man walked into the living room. Looking at that man, my brain went blank instantly. I knew him. He is my wife's company leader, Yang Jun. Watching them eat and laugh together, as intimate as a couple, I felt like my head was about to explode. I really wanted to rush up and beat those 2 dogs to death, but reason told me to wait a little longer. I must catch them in the act. An hour later, they finished eating and went into the bedroom. At this moment, although I was furious inside, it didn't show on my face at all. I smiled, but this smile was bitter. I didn't expect it would come to this. I worked hard to make money, just to give her a home. 300,000 for the down payment. How much hardship did I endure? I finally bought a house and got married. Only 1 year later, she dared to do such a thing. Looking at the unbearable images on my phone, a strange smile gradually spread across my lips. Then I exited the surveillance, used a phone card my friend had bought, and dialed the police. I want to report a crime. Chenjin Garden District, Building 6, Apartment 502. It sounds like a woman is being assaulted. I can hear her weak screams. If you don't come soon, she might die. Please do not reveal my identity. I'm afraid the perpetrator will retaliate against me. After hanging up, I called a journalist. There's a huge story here. A major crime has occurred at Chenjin Garden District, Building 6. Come quickly. I didn't answer the journalist's questions, just hung up. I sat in the car, lit a cigarette. Liu Li, I've thrown away my own reputation. Let's take it slow. I switched my phone back to the unbearable images, watched, and commented. He's not handsome. His body isn't as good as mine, but at least he's a project manager. Maybe he has a bit more money than me. Liu Li, if you could trade our marriage for that, then I'm truly blind. Soon several police cars arrived. As the police came, people from all over the neighborhood began to pay attention. Gossip is human nature. The police had just gone up when I saw the journalist with his camera follow them up. I smiled even more happily. As I smiled, a few tears fell from the corners of my eyes. About half an hour later, the police brought a fully dressed Liu Li and Yang Jun into the police car. The clever journalist hid in the crowd, quietly taking photos. The surrounding people were also posting on their phones. I heard it was a home invasion, a sexual assault. That guy is a scumbag. Bullshit. Where did you hear that? Listen to me. That woman lives above me. Her husband often goes on business trips, and when he's away, I often hear noise upstairs. She's obviously cheating. I was thinking of finding a chance to tell her husband, but now, her husband must be furious. I'm sure they're both finished. Along with me, I'll get to experience being a celebrity for a while. My goal was achieved. Now I just had to wait for the police to notify the family to come. I really wanted to see what expression my wife would have when she saw me. Back at the rental soon after, I received a call from the police. This is Nanchang City Police Bureau. Is this Mr. Wang? I smiled with my eyes, but answered in a confused tone. Yes, it's me. Is something wrong? We received a report that your wife was assaulted. However, the police officer didn't finish before I anxiously interrupted. You mean my wife was raped? My wife is Liu Li. Is it true or not? The officer tried to calm me down. Sir, please don't get excited. How can I not be excited? What happened to my wife? After being interrupted twice, this time the officer spoke in a heavier tone. Sir, listen to me first. Your wife was not assaulted. I pretended to breathe a sigh of relief. That's good. That's good. Thank goodness Liu Li is okay. But she had an affair. According to our investigation, it was consensual. The officer's untimely remark made me silent for a long time, pretending to be devastated. Mr. Wang, are you okay? I know this is hard for you to accept, but you need to be strong. Please don't do anything stupid. My voice was full of bitterness. I'm fine. It's just that the news came too suddenly. I need time to digest it. By the way, you haven't told my wife's parents, have you? Her parents are both over 50 and not in good health. They might not be able to handle the shock. The person on the phone was silent for a moment, then said, Sorry, my partner already called them. They are on their way here. A faint smile tugged at the corner of my mouth. I pretended to be anxious. I'm going there right now. After saying that, I hung up. I threw the phone aside and lay on the bed. Liu Li, let's see how you face your parents. I remember your father has a heart condition, doesn't he? I wonder if he'll be pissed to death. After a cold laugh, I began to think about what attitude I should face them with. It wasn't until 12 o'clock at night that I packed my things and went to the police station. As soon as I got out of the car, I made an anxious face and rushed into the police station, my posture suppressing anger. Liu Li sat in the chair with empty eyes. The moment she saw me, she lowered her head in shame. After talking with the police for a while, I slowly walked to my wife and gently held her hand. Luli tried to dodge, but I held her tightly. I asked softly, honey, can you tell me why? Wasn't I good enough to you? Luli turned sideways to avoid me, just silent. I was about to say something when my phone suddenly rang. After a glance, I said to Luli, your parents are calling. You don't have to tell me the truth. You better think about how to explain it to them. After saying that, I walked aside to answer the phone. What? Dad had another heart attack? I'm at the police station. I'll bring Luli right away. I turned to Luli. What are you waiting for? Let's go. Your father is in the hospital because of you. We'll talk about our issue later. On the way, I rolled down the window and after a while of cold wind, I suddenly asked Luli, are you pregnant? Luli looked out the window in silence, saying nothing. I continued, if you want this marriage to continue, abort the child. I don't believe this child is mine, and I won't raise another man's child. Luli remained silent. The blow probably wouldn't go away anytime soon. Driving to the city hospital, we found my mother-in-law Wang Shu-chin outside the emergency room, with Liuli's uncle sitting nearby. I ran to my mother-in-law and crouched down, asking nervously, Mom, how is Dad? Is he in danger? Wang Shu-chin looked at me, grabbed my hand and said urgently, Xiao Wang, I'm sorry. We failed to raise our daughter well. You've been humiliated. Mom, let's talk about that later. Dad's surgery fee hasn't been paid yet, right? I'll go pay it. Wang Shu-chin grabbed my hand and said shamefully, Xiao Wang, how can we still use your money? I patted her hand and said, Mom, you and Dad have been very good to me. I am an orphan. You two made me feel family affection. Even without Liu Li, I should pay. I gently pulled my hand away and turned to the payment desk. My mother-in-law looked at my back, opened her mouth, but couldn't say anything. Guilt overwhelmed her. My mother-in-law walked up to Liu Li. Liu Li lowered her head and timidly called out, Mom, I don't have such a shameless daughter. Wang Shu-chin raised her hand and slapped Liu Li hard. Xiao Wang is such a good child, and you still did such a thing? Think about how to explain yourself. Liu Li grabbed her mother's hand and cried. Mom, I'm sorry. I was bewitched. Please forgive me this time. Wang Shu-chin pulled her hand away forcefully, ignored her daughter, and returned to her chair, worriedly watching the operating room. After paying the fees, I walked back. As soon as I got out of the elevator, I saw Liu Li standing alone on the side. A faint smile rose at the corner of my mouth. I walked over and sat next to my mother-in-law, comforting her. Mom, don't worry, Dad will be fine. I've already paid the surgery fee. If it's not enough later, I'll pay more. Wang Shu-chin was both ashamed and moved. Xiao Wang, this time we are sorry for you. Even if you want to divorce Liu Li, we have nothing to say. We won't take a cent from you. We will find a way to pay back the medical expenses you paid. Mom, let's talk about this after we get home. At this time, Liu Li looked a little melancholy. After several struggles, she slowly walked over. Without hesitation, she knelt down and said in a tearful voice, Husband, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Forgive me this time. I was just confused. I promise I will never do anything to wrong you again. My face darkened. I tried to help Liu Li up. This is a hospital. Let's go home and talk about anything. But Liu Li still hugged me and cried. My mother-in-law stood up and slapped Liu Li's face. Get up. Isn't it embarrassing enough? This is a hospital. Liu Li looked at Wang Shu-chin in shock. She had thought that with her mother here, she could use her to pressure me into forgiving her. Even a hypocritical word would give her hope. But she never expected that her own mother wouldn't help her. A disdainful smile appeared on my face. I knew exactly what she was thinking. Just childish tricks. A person who could throw away her own reputation wouldn't be afraid of a little strange looks. After staying all night, my father-in-law finally came out of surgery. In the hospital room, my father-in-law was still unconscious. I looked at them and said, Mom, you and Uncle are old. Go rest first. I'll watch here. How can that be? Xiao Wang, you're tired too. Go home and rest. And you and Liu Li need to discuss a result. Seeing my mother-in-law insist, I didn't refuse. I went downstairs, bought a few breakfasts, and took Liu Li away from the hospital. At home, Liu Li didn't even change her shoes. She walked directly to me and knelt down. Husband, I was wrong. I'll never dare again. A trace of disgust flashed in my eyes, but I didn't help her up. I'm curious, why did you do it? Was it really because you couldn't stand the loneliness? Husband, I'm really wrong. I promise I'll never do it again. Do you think I can still believe your promise? I already guessed the answer. I'm not home often. A woman with her looks would never lack suitors. Liu Li couldn't help crying anymore. She reached out and hugged my legs. Husband, please give me another chance. I will make up for this mistake. I'll resign tomorrow and stay at home full time. Husband, hit me if it makes you feel better. I pushed Liu Li away, just looking at her. I raised one hand and swung it hard. Liu Li closed her eyes and didn't dodge, but as the slap fell, there was no sound. It turned out that I had released the force and turned it into a caress. I gently stroked her cheek. My eyes gentle. How could I hit you? I can't bring myself to do it. Liu Li lost control again, and hugged me. Husband, forgive me, okay? Don't divorce me. From now on, we'll live peacefully. We'll see how you behave. If I forgive you so easily, I won't be able to accept it myself. Liu Li was overjoyed. I will behave well, I promise. You will see my change. Although I didn't express forgiveness, I also didn't firmly ask for divorce. That meant there was still hope. I carried Liu Li to the bedroom. Looking at that bed, I suddenly stopped. Liu Li was very smart. She knew that this bed made me think of some bad images. She hurriedly climbed down from my arms and said, Husband, don't look. I'll throw this bed away right now. I didn't say anything. I turned and walked to the balcony. Liu Li watched my back and didn't come over. She knew that I needed to be alone to calm down. Then Liu Li started calling people to move things and also ordered some new furniture. Of course, she paid with her own money. By noon, all the eyesores in the house had been replaced, especially that bed. Liu Li walked to me and timidly called out, Husband, time to eat. I walked to the dining table expressionlessly. After eating, we took lunch to the hospital to visit her parents. I found a table and laid out the dishes. Wang Shu-chin frowned and said, Where is that wretched girl? I explained, Liu Li is outside. She's afraid that if Dad wakes up and sees her, he'll have another attack, so she didn't come in. Wang Shuqin scolded. If she really worried about that, she wouldn't have done such a shameless thing. I just smiled, as if not angry at all. While they ate, I sat by the hospital bed, watching over. I don't know if it was my imagination, but I thought I saw my father-in-law's finger move. In the blink of an eye, I saw that my father-in-law's eyes were already open. I hurriedly said, "Dad, you're awake. Do you feel any discomfort?" My mother-in-law and uncle, who were eating, heard my voice and immediately put down their bowls to gather around. Liu Li raised her head outside the hospital room and watched inside. Wang Shuqin stepped forward and asked, "Old Liu, how are you feeling? Is there any discomfort?" Liu Hua was still weak, but he looked around with a dark face. Not seeing the person he wanted to see, he said angrily, "Great, the daughter I raised for so many years is not as reliable as my son-in-law. I'm sick in bed, and she won't even come to see me." I explained, "Dad, it's not like that. She's right outside. She's afraid that seeing her would make you sick again, so she didn't dare come in." Liu Hua said in a deep voice, "Call her in." I glanced at Wang Shuqin, then walked outside and pulled Liu Li in. Liu Li looked at her father's serious face, lowered her head in shame and fear, and called out in a weak voice, "Dad, don't call me Dad. I don't have such a shameless daughter." Liu Li fell to her knees with a thud and cried, "Dad, I'm wrong. I really know I'm wrong. I have to say I admire her a little. Look how practiced that kneeling motion is." Liu Hua struggled for a while to sit up, but his body was too weak. He looked at me and said, "Xiao Wang, I know you're angry. On my behalf, slap her." I looked at Liu Hua blankly, not knowing how to answer. I really wanted to, but I was also afraid it might be a trap. Seeing that I didn't move, Liu Hua continued, "What's wrong? Too afraid to hit a woman? Are you still a man?" Since he said that, I didn't hesitate anymore. I raised my hand and slapped Liu Li hard. The crisp sound of the slap echoed in the hospital room for a long time. Liu Hua's expression finally improved a little. He forced me to hit his daughter. Only then could this marriage be saved. Although Liu Li had taken a heavy slap, she was very happy. Because I hit her, that meant there was still a chance I would forgive her. Continue. I slapped her other cheek. Continue. But this time I stopped. Looking at Liu Li's swollen cheeks, I pleaded, "Dad, that's enough. You've hit her. Calm down." Liu Hua turned to look out the window. "Since you're pleading, then fine. Take her home. I don't want to see her anymore. Whether you divorce or continue living together is up to you. We won't complain." I opened my mouth, but finally didn't say anything. "Dad, rest well. Call me if anything." Then I took Liu Li out of the room. Liu Li followed behind me, obedient as a child. I looked at her swollen cheeks and gently stroked them. "Does it still hurt?" Liu Li shook her head with red eyes. "Come with me. I'll take you to get that treated." I took Liu Li to a doctor to get it treated. Looking at her haggard appearance, I said, "Since we're here, let's do a full body checkup." Liu Li looked at me, knowing that whatever she said would be useless. She cooperated with my request and did a full body checkup. She was trying to prove to me with facts that she wasn't pregnant. When the results came, I roughly flipped through them once, then casually threw them to Liu Li. "We're going home." And pause. Liu Li smiled with her eyes and happily followed me. In the past, when we walked together, we always walked side by side. Or, Liu Li walked ahead. This time, Liu Li walked behind me. The status in this home had changed. Back home, I sat on the sofa and wrote a resignation letter, because this job required frequent business trips. Not being at home, there's no time to improve the relationship between husband and wife, so quitting was inevitable. After Liu Li came home, she started cleaning. She didn't dare let herself be idle. She tried hard to show her worth, but she also didn't dare to disturb me, afraid of making me unhappy again. Actually, if Liu Li asked for a divorce right now, my subsequent plans would be impossible to carry out. Unfortunately, she didn't have the courage to face the criticism from her relatives. I was the last lifeline she could hold on to. She had also just looked through the news and the internet. She was now famous in Nanchang. The moral condemnation she was facing was enough to destroy her life. Liu Li could only hide behind me and barely survive. I looked at the busy Liu Li and smiled coldly. Like ordering a servant, I commanded, "Pour me a cup of tea." Liu Li quickly put down her work to pour me tea. Now she could only try to please me, to keep me from asking for a divorce. After a while, she brought a cup of tea and put it on the table next to me. She glanced at the computer and asked, "Husband, are you quitting your job?" I asked back, "Should I keep it so you can betray me again?" Although it was sarcasm, Liu Li was very happy inside. She knew that I was forgiving her. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used the word again. "Husband, what do you want for dinner? I'll cook for you." "Whatever." After writing the resignation letter, I clicked send. Soon after, my leader called. "Xiao Wang, I saw your story in the news. Even so, you don't have to resign, right? I can give you a few days off to handle the divorce." I looked up at the kitchen and said, "Sorry, I'm not planning to divorce." The person on the phone seemed stunned and said incredulously, "What are you thinking? With your conditions, it's not like you can't find another woman, and you're still young. Can you show some youthful spirit?" "I have my own thoughts. Besides, she is my first love. I can't let go. That's it. Please approve my resignation. We'll talk another time." After saying that, I hung up. At this moment, I clearly felt that the sound of chopping in the kitchen had become lighter and faster. Those words were meant for her to hear. Then I opened the internet and started browsing information. As soon as I opened it, I saw what had happened last night. Scrolling down to the comments section, I saw a flood of curses. I felt relieved. I closed the app expressionlessly, turned off my phone, and closed my eyes to think. Otherwise, the 100,000 yuan I had wouldn't last long. But this new job had to be close to home. After eating, I drove to the hospital to deliver food. This time, I didn't bring Liu Li. It was time to give her some alone time. Through the surveillance, I saw Liu Li sitting on the sofa, with her legs hugged, her phone glowing faintly. Obviously she was looking at it. But she didn't look for long. Soon she was holding her head and crying. I knew she was watching the online videos and the abuse. Already breaking down? This is nothing yet. I laughed coldly and turned off my phone, concentrating on driving to the hospital. I carried dinner into the room. Mom, Dad, eat first. Liu Hua looked at me and said, Xiuqin, go out first. I want to talk to Xiaowang alone. Wang Xiuqin hesitated, but didn't say anything. She walked out of the room. Xiaowang, can you tell me what you're thinking? Will you divorce her or not? I knew he was probing, so I pretended to be conflicted and replied, Dad, to be honest, I don't know what to do either. Liu Li is my first love, but she did such a thing. I can't forgive her either. I'm really torn right now. Dad, give me some advice. If this continues, I feel like I'll really break down. Liu Hua patted my shoulder and said, Xiaowang, we truly have wronged you. I didn't raise her well, to the point that she did such a disgraceful thing. If you don't want a divorce, I will discipline her properly and make her live peacefully with you. If she dares to make such a mistake again, you don't need to do anything. I'll break her legs. Dad, you just rest and recover. I will handle everything. You know I am an orphan. Over the past year, I have come to see you and Mom as my own parents. The reason I didn't divorce Liu Li is partly because I can't let go of her, and partly because I can't bear to leave you two, because with you I feel the love of family. After saying that, I didn't turn back to look at Liu Hua's expression. I didn't need to. He must be feeling extremely guilty and moved. He was probably cursing Liu Li in his heart. I walked out of the room and brought my mother-in-law Wang Xiuqin back. After eating with them, I packed up to leave. But as soon as I stepped out of the room, I turned back. Mom, I'll stay with Dad tonight. You go home and sleep. I drove my mother-in-law back to the neighborhood. I didn't even get out of the car. I'm going back to the hospital. I didn't go directly to the hospital. Instead, I found a parking spot and took out my phone to look at the surveillance. As soon as I opened the app, I saw something unbelievable. Liu Li, what can I say about you? Look at what you've done. Xiaowang is such a good young man, and you're still not satisfied? You had to mess around? Have you thought about his feelings? Have you thought about your father's and my feelings? You didn't just embarrass Xiaowang. You want your father and me to be laughed at. I can already hear the neighbors gossiping about us. They will say, look at the daughter they raised. What a shame. Mom, please stop scolding me. I'm really wrong. I'll never dare again. Yes, just like that. Scold her, isolate her, ignite her sense of shame. Only then can she feel pain. There was no need to watch anymore. I put away my phone and drove to the hospital. When I got to the room, I saw my father-in-law was still awake. Dad, why aren't you resting yet? I said, pulling up a stool and sitting by the bed. I can't sleep. Xiaowang, I'm fine. Go home and rest. I took a fruit and started peeling it. How can I? If I go home, Mom will definitely come back to watch over me. But I want to be alone for a while. I looked up at my father-in-law. Dad, don't think about those troubles. You should rest early. I can only sleep if you sleep. I haven't closed my eyes all night. Do me a favor and rest early. Seeing my father-in-law lie down to rest, I helped him cover the blanket. Early the next morning, my mother-in-law came to take over. She almost forced me to go home. Back home, I lay on the sofa and dozed off. In a daze, I was woken by the sound of the door opening. I opened my eyes and saw Liu Li's reddened eyes. I knew she had been scolded at the hospital again. Fortunately, my father-in-law couldn't move much yet, otherwise her face would be covered in red marks. Liu looked at me with an apologetic look. Sorry, husband, for disturbing your rest. Go cook, then go quit that job. After saying that, I closed my eyes again and pretended to sleep. Liu Li bit her lips slightly. My lukewarm attitude made her very uncomfortable. In the past, I would comfort her, coax her. Now I didn't ask or care. The contrast was huge. But now she could only endure it. She believed that if she endured, it would get better after some time. Liu Li already regretted it. She hated why she was so stupid back then. She hated why she couldn't resist temptation. But if regret were useful, people wouldn't pray for a second chance. Tears silently fell from her eyes. Liu Li numbly walked into the kitchen. More than an hour later, I took the lunchbox and prepared to leave. Before leaving, I looked at Liu Li, just stared at her calmly. Liu Li was very uneasy under my gaze. Her body shrank unnaturally. How she wished I would warn her. Watching me leave, Liu Li sat down on the sofa dejectedly. She knew things could never go back. Now she only hoped that I would treat her with 1/3 of the kindness I used to show. That would be enough. When I got to the room, my mother-in-law came over to take the food from my hands and scolded me gently. Xiaowang, you don't have to deliver it yourself. You didn't rest well last night. Let her bring it. Mom, it's nothing. I told Liu Li to go quit her job. My mother-in-law fell silent. My father-in-law's smile never left his face when he saw me. Xiaowang, I'm much better. I should be discharged in a few days. You don't have to come every day. Rest. Let Liu Li bring the food. Dad, I understand. Back home, Liu Li hadn't returned yet. I lay on the bed to rest. Before long, I started snoring softly. This was the first time I had slept since that night. It wasn't until the afternoon that Liu Li woke me up. Husband, time to eat. I opened my eyes groggily, glanced at Liu Li and said, stop crying every day. Look at your red eyes. Liu Li opened her mouth, but no words came out. She just turned and walked out of the bedroom. While eating, Liu Li came to me and said, husband, I have something to tell you. Liu Li showed me her phone. He should be locked up for a few years. I took Liu Li's phone and looked at it, slightly surprised. Yang Jun was actually arrested. I looked up at Liu Li. Did you turn him in? Liu Li didn't speak. She just nodded slightly. I gained more respect for Liu Li in my heart. This woman's methods were not bad. Hearing my cold laugh, Liu Li was too afraid to speak. She knew that regarding Yang Jun, She couldn't express any opinion. Some things can only be done, not taken credit for. What do you plan to do now? I will stay at home from now on. I won't go out. I will cook and do laundry for you. After saying that, Liu Li looked at me uneasily. I can also stay home and raise children. I put down my chopsticks and lit a cigarette. That's it for now. Put the childish aside. Disappointment flashed in Liu Li's eyes, but she knew that I still had a hurdle in my heart. Her idea of using a child to save this family would have to wait. After eating, I took Liu Li and drove to the hospital. At the hospital, I let Liu Li go pick up her parents, while I went to handle the discharge procedures and pay the remaining fees. Just as I finished, I turned and ran into a girl. The position of my hand was a bit awkward. Before the girl could react, I quickly stepped back. The girl covered her chest and jumped back. What's wrong with you? Where are you putting your hand? I apologized. Sorry, I didn't see you. You suddenly appeared behind me. I didn't have time to react. The girl's face was slightly red, whether from anger at my action or embarrassment for not waiting in line. I couldn't tell. She had originally wanted to ask a nurse something, but who knew it would turn out like this? The girl blushed, struggled for a moment, glared at me fiercely, and then ran off. I looked at her back in confusion, but since she didn't pursue it, I wasn't going to go out of my way to apologize. When Liu Li came downstairs, she just happened to see me apologizing to the girl. Because she was far away, she didn't hear the voices. She only saw my mouth moving. At that moment, a sense of crisis arose in her heart. She had been used to it before, thus ignored my good qualities. My fairly good looks, I wouldn't have trouble finding a woman. If I divorced, I could live well. If she divorced, she would only face scorn. Thinking of this, Liu Li became even less likely to divorce. She had to find a way to remove the knot in my heart. She could only stay with me. This marriage had become her umbrella. Without it, she would be judged under the scorching sun. My mother-in-law looked at her daughter. She had nothing to say to her now. Mom, Dad, why don't you come stay at my place for a few days? My father-in-law waved his hand. Xiao Wang, we won't trouble you. Take us home. No one has been there for a few days. The pigs and chickens can't keep troubling your uncle to feed them, right? I drove out of the city, toward the hometown. Liu Li sat in the passenger seat, looking out the window. A hint of fear in her eyes. If there was one thing she was most afraid of now, it was going back to her hometown. She could even imagine the looks from her relatives and neighbors. Liu Li turned to look at me, her eyes pleading. She was begging me not to stay long. I didn't ignore her look. I knew that pushing too hard would backfire. Even a rabbit bites when cornered. After driving over a bumpy rural road, a village appeared before my eyes. This was Liu Li's parents' place, Liu Family Village. Most of the people living here were surnamed Liu, more or less related. After parking the car, a group of half-grown children gathered around. I got out and gave them some candy to send them off. A little kid tugged at my clothes and asked, Brother, I heard from my mom that Sister Liu Li cheated. What is cheating? My face darkened slightly, but I still crouched down. Little kid, why are you asking so many questions? If you ask again, believe it or not, I'll take back your candy. You already gave it to me. You can't take it back. The child quickly stuffed the candy in his mouth and ran away. Because the car window wasn't closed, the child's words were clearly heard by Liu Li. That innocent voice made her lower her head in shame. She curled up in her seat, trembling. So you also know what shame is? My father-in-law scolded from the side. Liu Li didn't even have the courage to respond. At that moment, I opened the car door. Be careful of your head. After helping my parents out of the car, I walked to the passenger side and knocked on the window. Go cook. Dad and Mom haven't had breakfast yet. Liu Li shook her head, looking at me pleadingly. She really didn't want to stay here a moment longer. What, you want Mom to cook herself? Liu Li got out of the car very reluctantly. After entering the house, she buried herself in the kitchen and didn't come out. I looked at the dusty floor, picked up a broom, and started sweeping. My mother-in-law quickly grabbed my hand. Xiao Wang, don't sweep. Leave it there. I'll sweep it when I have time. I'll just sweep a little. Not caring about them, I started sweeping. While I was sweeping, the news of my father-in-law and mother-in-law's return had spread throughout the village. Close relatives came to visit, along with some who came specifically to see the spectacle. A large group of people sat around the table, drinking tea and chatting. Of course, they didn't openly mention the sensitive issues, but the looks they gave me were more or less strange. But the eldest aunt was the first to test the waters. Xiao Wang, what are your thoughts? Auntie, please don't ask. Give me some face. Just then, a group of children ran in with a crying child. The crying child was the one who had asked me the question earlier. He cried, Mom, Sister Liu Li hit me. Little treasure, how did you provoke her? I just asked her what cheating is, and she slapped me hard. The aunt looked up at my parents-in-law and me, our faces dark, and quickly apologized. Children say the darndest things. Don't mind it. I held my teacup and said nothing. My father-in-law knocked on the table lightly. Sister, why don't you all go back for today? My body has just recovered. I'll come visit you in a few days. My father-in-law had issued an eviction order. Actually, it was about time. Once the floodgates opened, this large group of people would start talking one after another. Heaven knows what ugly words would come out. The others stood up. Then we'll go first. We'll come see you another day. Liu Li didn't come out with the food until everyone had left. She had finished cooking long ago, but hid because there were too many people outside. My father-in-law looked at Liu Li, his face instantly darkening. He slapped the table and cursed. What, you still have a temper? After doing such a shameful thing, you still dare to hit someone? Little treasure is still a child. If you hurt him, your uncle will definitely skin you. Liu Li shrank her head like an ostrich, not daring to speak. After listening for a while, I felt it was enough, and said, Dad, calm down. I'll take her away now. You have to take things step by step. If you push Liu Li too hard, she might run away. I still needed my in-laws to pass messages for the subsequent plan. Only by taking it slow could I break her spirit spiritually. If I rushed, it would backfire. Xiao Wang, since you're here, eat a meal before leaving. It's not too late. My father-in-law turned and said gently. His attitude toward me compared to his attitude toward Liu Li just now was a complete 180-degree turn. This contrast made Liu Li feel even worse. I thought for a moment and sat down again. Okay, I'll eat a meal before leaving. Then don't try to keep me. I'm not comfortable staying either. I gave Liuli a look, signaling her to leave quickly. Liuli looked at me gratefully and ran to the kitchen to get bowls and chopsticks. After that, she didn't even sit at the table. At the table, my father-in-law wanted to drink. No matter how I tried to persuade him, he wouldn't listen. Finally, I had to agree to let him have a small sip. After eating, I stood up and said goodbye to my in-laws. I'll take Liuli with me now. Call me anytime if you need anything. Liuli almost fled into the car. She felt that if she stayed any longer, she would go crazy. My father-in-law looked at Liuli's state, his face darkening again, but this time out of respect for me. He didn't lash out. Watching the departing car, my father-in-law sighed. Xiao Wang is a good kid. She doesn't deserve such a good husband. She's an ungrateful beast. Old Liu, forget it. Since Xiao Wang doesn't want a divorce, let it be. Let's shield him from the village gossip a bit. Just you watch. If she still isn't satisfied and dares to do this again, I will beat her to death. To save face for Xiao Wang, my father-in-law spat and said. Driving home, I glanced at Liu Li with some irritation. Stop crying. Liu Li didn't want to cry either, but thinking of the looks she had just received at her parents' house, she couldn't stop sobbing. Husband, can we not go back in the future? I smiled. Sure, as long as we divorce you can leave this city and go somewhere no one knows you. Then you won't have to face this anymore. You can still live well. I said this to test Liu Li, to see if she had the determination to do this. If she wanted to, I would have to change my plan. Liu Li was clearly tempted, but soon her eyes dimmed. She didn't dare to do that. She was afraid that if she left, she might kill her father. And after a daughter makes a mistake, how can she leave the consequences for her parents to bear? Liu Li couldn't do that. If she divorced, she would only be scorned, while I would still live well. Only by keeping the marriage could she slowly lift her head again in the midst of the rumors. Husband, don't divorce, I can endure this. Give me another chance, Liu Li begged. I breathed a sigh of relief inside. It seemed she didn't have that determination. As long as she didn't leave this city, I had plenty of ways to torment her. The atmosphere in the car fell into silence because I didn't respond. Only Liu Li's sobbing continued. I liked that sound. I liked seeing her cry. The harder she cried, the happier I was. Back in the neighborhood, I had just parked when I heard someone call me. I have something to ask you. Auntie Wang, what is it? I walked over slowly. Xiao Wang, when are you getting divorced? Then Auntie will introduce you to a girlfriend. Don't worry, the girl I'll introduce you to is absolutely virtuous. Much better than certain people, Auntie Wang said loudly. I put on a look of being unable to answer, but my eyes glanced toward Liu Li. I wanted to enjoy her reaction. Liu Li wasn't far away, so she naturally heard Auntie Wang's words. She was very angry, biting her lip, but dared not speak. I was her lifeline now. How could she let someone take me away? At the same time, she felt a crisis. I was excellent, no doubt about it. Now she couldn't keep such an excellent man, so she panicked. She had to take action. Liu Li walked over and stood quietly behind me to show her presence, but she didn't dare interrupt, because she knew that if she did, she might end up arguing with Auntie Wang. She was afraid of lowering her status in my heart again. I turned to glance at Liu Li. Auntie Wang, this is my private matter. I don't need you to worry. What, you're not planning to divorce? Your wife did something like this? Are you going to put up with it? Auntie Wang glanced at Liu Li and said bluntly. My face darkened. Auntie Wang, if there's nothing else, I'll go back first. As I turned, Auntie Wang grabbed me. Xiao Wang, you must have not been there that night so you don't have the visual. I was there. When the police went to your house, I was standing at the door. I recorded everything. Let me show you what your wife looked like then. After saying that, Auntie Wang let go of my hand and took out her phone to find the video she had recorded. I looked at the crowd of onlookers gathering around, grabbed Auntie Wang's wrist with a dark face, and said in a deep voice, Auntie Wang, give me some face, okay? Auntie Wang looked up at my dark face, then turned to look at the crowd, and suddenly realized, look at my brain. Xiao Wang, I'm really sorry. I'll talk to you alone another time. I left angrily. Now I was truly a little angry. I was the one who had thrown away my reputation. So why did I still get angry hearing this? Before leaving, Liu Li glared fiercely at Auntie Wang, as if warning her not to meddle. Auntie Wang immediately got angry. She pointed at Liu Li's back and cursed. You dare to glare at me? What, you did something shameful and won't let others talk about it? A woman like you, your bones are already rotten. Hearing Auntie Wang's curses, I walked even faster. Back home, I lay on the sofa and lit a cigarette. I was very calm now. Liu Li didn't even change her shoes. She walked directly to me and knelt down. She lowered her head and didn't speak. She knew I was very angry now. No matter what she said, she might provoke me. I blew out a puff of smoke. What do you mean by this? I asked. Husband, I know I've humiliated you. Hit me. Liu Li gritted her teeth and said humbly. Do you know how the neighbors look at me these days when I go out? I am a man. I need face the least, I said mockingly. Liu Li couldn't hold back her tears anymore. She reached out and hugged my legs, crying. I know. Husband, please give me another chance. I will make up for this mistake. I looked at Liu Li coldly and said nothing. I got up and went back to the room. Listening to Liu Li's cries in the room, I smiled coldly. In the afternoon, I walked out of the room and saw Liu Li still kneeling there. A barely perceptible sense of mockery flashed in my eyes. The stunt of playing pitiful, it used to work. I used to fall for it. But now, ha. Liu Li's red eyes looked at me with a hint of expectation. She was expecting the concern I used to show. I walked to Liu Li and looked down at her. Go cook, I'm hungry. After saying that, I sat directly on the sofa. I didn't help Liu Li up. I didn't even say another word. Disappointment flashed in Liu Li's eyes. She struggled to get up, but her knees hurt badly from kneeling too long. She fell. And she fell right on me. Liu Li kept apologizing while trying to get up, but her knees hurt too much. She couldn't. I pushed Liu Li onto the sofa. I didn't scold her, let alone urge her. I just took out the remote and turned on the TV. Luli bit her lip, a little lost. She felt a kind of coldness. A few minutes later, I went into the room, took out some Yunnan Bai Yao, and handed it to Luli. Take care of yourself. When you feel better, go cook. Happiness showed in Luli's eyes. She took the medicine and looked at me. She felt hope again. I laughed coldly inside. Don't worry, this little bit of hope will be what keeps her going. Luli glanced at me, carefully pulled down her pants, applied the medicine, and watched me out of the corner of her eye. She was observing whether I would react after seeing her legs, because her legs had always been her most confident feature. She wanted to win me back with her body. I saw through her intentions at a glance, and only felt disgusted. I got up, went back to the room, grabbed a pair of loose pants, and threw them at her. Put these on when you're done, and go cook. Disappointment flashed across Luli's face, but she didn't give up. While she cooked, I took out my phone to look for a new job. I couldn't just waste time. Making money was essential. After eating, I went to the park near the neighborhood. I sat on a bench, looked up at the bright moon in the sky, and felt a deep unwillingness. Luli, you really should die. You ruined a good life. This was the first time I had hated someone so much, even more than the parents who abandoned me. It was my good brother, Chen Hai. Linga, I saw a video today. It's about... I interrupted him before he could finish. Lao Chen, you don't have to test me. The good guy in that video is me. I was cheated on. There was a long silence on the other end. Linga, are you planning to divorce or? I will not divorce. I've never suffered such humiliation. Linga, calm down. Don't do anything stupid. Don't worry. Now is a society of law. I won't solve problems with violence. I talked with Chen Hai for a long time. I learned that he was working in a factory in the big city, exhausting himself for only about 6,000 a month. Suddenly, I had the idea of starting my own business. I wanted to open a labor service company. The connections I had accumulated over the years were enough to make a living. After telling Chen Hai, he said he was also fed up with his current life and decided to take a chance with me. He immediately decided to quit that job and come back to me. Now I had to both take revenge on Liu Li and make money. Only then could I live better in the future. As soon as I got home, Liu Li warmly greeted me. Husband, please have some tea. I've already adjusted the bathwater temperature. When would you like to wash up? Her maid-like attitude made me a little uncomfortable, but I still enjoyed it. I took the teacup, had a sip, then stood up and walked into the bathroom. I shut the door right in her face. Outside the door, Liu Li shook her fist in frustration, then turned around to make the bed, still trying to make one last attempt. After I washed up, I walked into the bedroom. She was deliberately wearing a conservative, yet very sexy set of pajamas, an outfit she had picked out after much deliberation. It wasn't too revealing, but it still highlighted her nice figure. She was still trying to seduce me. But her plan failed. I didn't even look at her. I lay down with my back to her and went to sleep. She climbed onto the bed with some disappointment. She wanted to say something, but didn't dare to speak. Liu Li thought about everything she was facing now, and bitterness welled up in her heart. As for all of this, I didn't know, and I didn't want to know. My soft snoring had already started to fill the room. The next day, I felt some pressure on my body. I opened my eyes and saw Liu Li coiled around me like a snake. I was a young man in my 20s, full of vigor, and with the natural instincts of the morning, my body immediately reacted. But looking at her body, I only felt disgust. I pushed her away forcefully, got up, put on my clothes, then lit a cigarette and went to the living room. Liu Li had woken up when I got out of bed. Her hopes were completely shattered. She knew that I found her dirty. Her confidence in winning me back began to waver. I called out, I know you're awake. Go make breakfast. I need to go out soon. Liu Li got up with a complicated expression, put on her clothes, and as she passed through the living room, she asked, Husband, where are you going? I warned her coldly. Don't ask so many questions. When I'm not home, you'd better behave yourself. Husband, I will behave myself, she said, shaking her head like a rattle drum. I will never embarrass you again. Let's hope so, I said flatly. If you mess around again, you won't even get a chance to divorce. Liu Li's face turned pale. She understood the threat. She walked into the kitchen trembling. I took out my phone and bought her a suitable outfit online. After eating, I left the house. I drove aimlessly around the city, without any destination. Before I knew it, evening had arrived. I didn't go home. I drove straight to a bar. As a betrayed man, I had to put on an act of being depressed and needing to blow off steam. I sat in a booth and ordered a glass of strong liquor. The lights were dim. The DJ was loud and chaotic. There weren't many people in the bar yet. That's when I noticed a few girls not far away, whispering about me. Ladies, there's a handsome guy over there drinking alone. He's got decent style. Doesn't look like some salaryman. Shiyu, do you want to give it a try? Luo Yao, don't tease me, okay? Shiyu, you're being threatened. Then we'll each rely on our own skills. The girl being pushed forward was named Li Shiyu. She was holding a wine glass and hesitantly walked over to me. She gently tapped on the table. Handsome, can I sit down and have a drink with you? I looked at her with a half smile. This girl was very pretty, the kind that made your heart skip a beat at first glance. Lu Li couldn't even compare to her. But right now, I didn't have the energy for any of that. I said calmly, anywhere except on my lap. Sit wherever you like. Her cheeks flushed slightly as she sat down gracefully. My name is Li Shiyu. What's yours? Wang Lin. If you're willing, you can tell me about it. She raised her glass to toast me. I stared directly at her for half a minute. Are you married? She looked surprised. I just graduated from college. Why would I get married so early? Marriage ages a woman so fast. You're not married, are you? You wouldn't understand me, I said. Talking to you would be useless. She hadn't expected me to be married. Her interest in me instantly dropped by more than half. But she still tried to comfort me. So the reason you're upset, is it because of money? I don't have much, but I do have over 100,000 saved up. I was a little stunned, maybe because I didn't have enough money to stand firm in this Uwang-driven society. You're still young. You can make money slowly. The most important thing now is to enjoy your youth. I drank one glass after another, my tone like that of an aging old man. Li Shiyu frowned slightly. She didn't like my world-weary attitude. I said teasingly, you seem to know a lot about life. Do you have children? Have you experienced life, aging, sickness, and death? You don't understand. Sometimes age isn't about appearances. Maybe it's one event, or maybe it's a single moment, and suddenly you realize you've grown old. Li Shiyu looked a bit annoyed. She had come to make friends, not to listen to life lessons. Just keep reflecting then. I feel like there's a generation gap between us, so I won't bother you anymore. She thought for a moment, then reminded me, no matter what you're going through, life is beautiful. Don't trap yourself in a cage. And don't drink too much. It's bad for your health. My hand, holding the wine glass, paused. I watched her walk away. A stranger's concern actually warmed my heart. Not far away, Qingshu and Luoyao were eagerly asking, Shiyu, how did it go? Did you succeed? Don't fight me for this one. This one's mine. If you took him, he'd just sit in your WeChat collecting dust. I'm keeping a backup. The only backups you keep are dead fish. All right. Li Shiyu quickly interrupted. I didn't get him. He's got something on his mind. Looks like he's been hurt in love. Let's not bother him. Being hurt in love is perfect. That means I can heal him. Luoyao joked. Forget about that, Li Shiyu said. I lost my job again. What am I going to do about work? Qingshu laughed. Come be my nanny. Room and board included. 3,000 a month. You're treating me like a beggar. At least 3 million a year, Li Shiyu scolded playfully. After a few more drinks, I staggered out of the bar. I rarely drank, and the alcohol hit me hard. The whole world was spinning. I called a designated driver and finally lay down in the car. Boss, we're here. Time to pay up. I opened my eyes groggily, pulled out a 100 yuan bill and handed it over. I came home reeking of alcohol. Husband, why did you drink so much? Luli carefully helped me inside. I struggled to push her away. Don't touch me. Disgusting. Luli's movements froze. She just stared at me blankly. I lay on the couch and mumbled, I know you resent me, but I'll show you that I can change. From now on, you are my everything. I grabbed a cup of water from the table and downed it in one gulp. My hand went limp, and the cup fell to the floor, shattering into pieces. I lay on the couch, unconscious. Luli quietly watched me. She touched my face, then leaned her head against my chest to listen to my heartbeat. Husband, I regret this so much. I used to take your kindness for granted. Now I realize it wasn't without reason, but I've already lost it. She kissed my cheek, then crouched down to clean up the broken glass. She knew that time might heal the wounds. She just had to endure until the day I forgot. The next day, I woke up with a dry mouth and a throbbing headache. Luli handed me a glass of water. Husband, you must be thirsty. I made hangover soup. I looked up. The maid outfit Luli was wearing caught my eye. This was what I had ordered online yesterday. Same city delivery was so fast. I took the water glass and looked at her appreciatively. I'm hungry. Is breakfast ready? I made kanji. You were drunk yesterday, so having some kanji in the morning is good for your stomach. After finishing the water, I got up and walked to the dining table. Luli trotted ahead to pull out the chair for me, then circled around behind me. She really did look like a maid. Husband, what are you doing today? Let me pick out your clothes. Luli massaged my shoulders from behind, her voice soft and gentle. Get me a casual outfit. I need to go pick someone up today. I closed my eyes and enjoyed it. She didn't ask any more questions. She just turned around to get the clothes. After I showered, I walked out of the bathroom. Luli was waiting at the door with the clothes, wanting to help me get dressed. I just took the clothes from her hands. I'll do it myself, I said. Go buy some groceries. We're having guests for lunch. After getting dressed, I grabbed my car keys and left. Through the mirror, Luli looked at herself in the maid outfit, feeling a sense of unfamiliarity. This wasn't romance, it was servitude. She knew I was tormenting her, but she didn't want to give up. She believed that even a maid could become the mistress of the house again. I drove to Nanchang Airport. Amidst the flowing crowd, I quickly spotted Chen Hai with his suitcase. Brother, welcome home. I went up and gave him a hug. Linga, even the air here feels better than outside. I took his luggage. Do you want to go back to the orphanage first and take a look? Chen Hai looked embarrassed. Give me a few days. I'm afraid the director will scold me. Sooner or later, you're going to get scolded. Going early or late is the same. I'm not ready yet, he said. Let's wait a few days. Fine. Stay at my place tonight. We'll go tomorrow. After we got in the car, Chen Hai handed me a cigarette. Linga, what you said yesterday about starting a labor service company, is that reliable? You worked in a factory for 3 years, I shot back. Don't you know how human resources work? In the big city, labor service companies partner with factories. They recruit quickly and save the factories from trouble. They take 1 to several yuan per hour from the workers' wages. That's the business model. I continued. Don't worry about connections. When I was in sales, I got to know most of the factory leaders around here. Stick with me. You won't lose. Chen Hai hesitated. Linga, it's not that I'm worried about that, but the Chuchi networking costs. That's a lot of money, right? I only have 20,000 left. I said, don't worry about money. Registering the company costs a few thousand. Renting a storefront is 3 to 4,000 a month. Miscellaneous expenses come to 10 or 20,000. Building relationships costs 50,000. The rest is enough for emergencies. So when do we start? No rush. First, go back to the orphanage. I'll do more research over the next few days. As soon as I got home, I noticed that Luli was wearing a face mask. I took it off and saw scratch marks on her face. I frowned. Did you get into a fight? Luli stayed silent. She had gone to the vegetable market and couldn't handle people pointing fingers at her. She'd lost her temper and started a fight. Linga, Chen Hai spoke up. Maybe we should eat out. She might not be in the best state right now. He didn't call her sister-in-law. He didn't even acknowledge her. I looked at her injuries. They're not serious. Handle it yourself. Go make lunch. And next time, don't get into fights. I won't stand up for you. Luli's heart darkened. She couldn't even get a single word of concern. She walked into the kitchen. The rhythmic thumping of her chopping knife became her way of venting. I pulled Chen Hai over to the couch and took a few bottles of beer out of the fridge. Brother, we haven't seen each other in so many years. Let's have a good drink today. Chen Hai held his beer and said quietly, Linga, are you really going to treat her like this? It's not worth it for her. My face darkened slightly. If you're my brother, don't say things like that. I'll decide what to do about her. Chen Hai knew he couldn't talk me out of it. I had always been vengeful ever since I was a child. If someone bullied me, I'd wait half a month just to hit them back. And this time, the humiliation was far greater. My fault, he said. I'll drink to punish myself. Chen Hai downed his beer in one gulp. After that, we talked about funny stories from our childhood. I laughed genuinely, the first real laugh I'd had in days. Luli finished cooking and brought the food to the table. She didn't interrupt. She quietly stepped aside. She was thinking about whether to continue this marriage or get a divorce. The decision was entirely hers. After we ate, Chen-hai insisted on going out to stay somewhere else. I staggered out with him. Lily waited until we left, before coming out to clean up. After thinking it over carefully, she decided to persevere, and she had seen me researching how to start a company. That made her even less willing to divorce. The next day, I took Chen-hai back to the orphanage. The car drove right into the yard, and a group of children swarmed around us. Wang Lin Goga is back. Chen-hai Goga is back too. I gave the children snacks and told them to go share them, then headed straight for the director's office. We talked for a long time, and only left after eating. In the car, Chen-hai was scrolling through his phone, when suddenly a strange sound came from it. I asked suspiciously, "What are you watching?" Chen-hai quickly turned off his phone. "Nothing, you misheard." "Show me," I said in a low voice. Hesitantly he handed me his phone. I looked at it. It was a video of Liu cheating, filmed from outside the window. A sinister, crooked smile curled on my lips. I exited the video, and threw the phone back to him. "What are you afraid of? I'm the one who had that video released." Chen-hai was so shocked he couldn't speak. After a long moment, he finally said, "Linga, doing this hurts you too. You're going to be labeled as the guy who got cheated on." "I'm already famous now," I said coldly. "I don't care what people think. I just want her to go to hell." Chen-hai fell silent. He understood my anger. When his own girlfriend had betrayed him, he had also resorted to violence. My methods were just more ruthless, killing the spirit, not just the body. After getting Chen-hai settled, I drove back to the neighborhood. I had thought the rumors and gossip were finally dying down. But as soon as I returned, the whispers and sympathetic looks came flooding back like a tidal wave, making me extremely uncomfortable. Even though I had mentally prepared myself, I still felt a wave of unease. Finally, I couldn't stand the invisible knives any longer. I hurried home. I opened the door with a dark expression. Li was kneeling at the entrance, holding a clothes rod. "Husband hit me. I'm a bitch." Looking at her pathetic state, the anger in my heart subsided a little. I thought about hitting her, but then gave up. If I hit her, she would actually feel relieved. I took the rod, threw it aside, and walked into the bedroom without acknowledging her. Li knelt there blankly, her eyes empty. The cold indifference was more devastating to her than any beating. She got up and rushed into the bedroom. "Wang Lin, I want a divorce. You cold-blooded beast." I lay on the bed and laughed softly. "I'm a beast? Have I ever hurt you? Have I ever yelled or screamed? Have I ever betrayed our marriage?" My last words came out as a low growl. "What are you if not a beast? Your coldness is torture. I'm done playing this game. Divorce." Li was shouting hysterically. I remained indifferent. "Fine. Let's go get a divorce right now. You'll pay for everything. No objections, right?" Li instantly snapped back to reality. She hugged me from behind and cried, "Husband, I'm sorry. I was just angry. I don't want a divorce. Please don't abandon me." I growled and shook her off. The anger inside me exploded in that moment. Just thinking about her filthy body touching me made me want to kill someone. "I won't let go," she sobbed. "I just want to hold you." I turned around to hit her, but she suddenly hugged me and kissed me. I was caught off guard. Her lips touched mine. I was furious. I pushed her away and slapped her hard across the face. "Are you trying to disgust me? Are you trying to make me hit you?" Li held her face and laughed. She laughed in a sick, twisted way. I looked at her, but didn't hit her again. I just slammed the door and left. "Think about your actions. If you keep this up, don't blame me for losing control." She didn't follow me. Instead, she was happy. She had finally seen an emotion from me other than indifference. Even anger was better than nothing. I sat alone on the riverbank, watching the sunset. There were more than a dozen cigarette butts on the ground. My mind replayed the earlier physical contact, and I only felt disgust. Li had destroyed my desire for life. I had been too careless. I had let her provoke me. I threw away my last cigarette and stood up. When I got home, Li acted as if nothing had happened and came up to me. "Husband, you're back. Dinner is ready." I nodded coldly. Then she served me rice, poured me tea, and fussed over me. I immediately became Jing-Ti. This seemed suspicious. But then I thought about it. She had just thrown a tantrum, so apologizing was only natural. I realized she was happy because I had hit her. She saw hope in my anger. Sometimes, anger is far more hopeful than indifference. I made up my mind. I would never hit her again. At the same time, I would strengthen communication with her parents to prevent her from running away. "Go do whatever you need to do," I said. "Stop hovering around me. I need to think." "Okay, husband. I'll disappear right away." Li turned and went back to the bedroom. I opened my laptop to do research. We were starting work tomorrow, so I needed to understand the relevant paperwork and processes. I researched for 2 hours. Suddenly, I felt a little hot. That was strange. It was only May. Why was it so hot at night? My whole body was burning up. I walked to the bathroom to take a cold shower. While I was showering, Li called from outside the door, offering to help me wash. I angrily told her to get lost, but she barged in anyway. After the storm passed, I sat naked on the couch, my face dark and terrifying. Looking at Li, who had passed out on the floor, an icy murderous intent erupted from my eyes. She had drugged me. I walked into the kitchen, grabbed a kitchen knife, and fetched a bucket of cold water. I poured it over her. Li was jolted awake. She wiped the water from her face and looked calmly at the knife in my hand. There was even a smile on her face. "Husband, are you going to kill me? You drugged me," I said coldly, interrogating her. "I added a strong aphrodisiac to your tea. He told you to be so cold to me these past few days. I long for your affection." "You still have the right to say that?" I roared. "Back then, I loved you. I cherished you. But you betrayed me. You trampled my love under your feet. You threw away our relationship yourself," I shouted, slamming the kitchen knife down on the dining table, leaving a deep cut in the wood. "I admit I betrayed you," she said, "but I still love you. The only reason I was with Yang Jun was to get money from him. I wanted to help you with the mortgage and the car loan. I just used the wrong method." "Shut up," I yelled. "I make 500,000 or 600,000 a year. Are you saying I can't support this family? Can't support you? I need you to go begging for money from other men?" Li closed her eyes and stopped arguing. Silence became her only response. I walked into the bedroom, put on my clothes, and threw an outfit at her. "Get dressed. You're coming with me." "Where are you taking me?" "I'm not going." She refused to move. I didn't care. I opened the front door. A group of neighbors had already gathered outside, watching. They all tried to persuade me. "Xiao Wang, don't get so angry. Just divorce her. This woman isn't worth it. With your qualities, you can find someone much better. Don't keep someone with such bad character." I have a daughter. She's a year younger than you, sweet and pretty. Let me introduce you. I suppressed my rage and forced a faint smile. Auntie, uncle, thank you for your kindness. I know what I'm doing. While I was distracted by the door, Lily grabbed her clothes and ran into the bedroom. She didn't want to be exposed in front of everyone. Xiao Wang, whatever you do, don't hit her. If you do, you'll lose the moral high ground, even if she was wrong. The law doesn't care about any of that. I smiled and responded, and it took me a while to get rid of the neighbors. Then I turned and walked into the bedroom. I carried Lily out to the car. Wang Lin, you bastard, let me go. I don't want to go back to my parents' house. She struggled and pounded on my back. I shoved the crying, screaming Lily into the car and used a belt to tie her hands together. Then I started driving away. Wang Lin, do you want me to be publicly executed? Can't you save me any face? Husband, I'm sorry. Can we please go back? You can hit me, yell at me, whatever you want. I'll be your servant. I'll do anything. Lily went from cursing to begging. Going back to her hometown was what she feared most. Husband, please, I'm begging you. Don't take me back there. My parents will tear me apart. I ignored her completely. I drove straight into the night. She cried and screamed the entire way until her voice was hoarse. In the end, she just lay limply in the back seat, staring blankly. An hour later, the car stopped in front of my father-in-law's house. Father-in-law Lu Hua came out with a smile. Xiao Wang, why are you here so late? Dad, sorry to bother you so late. I'll leave right away. I carried Liu Li out of the back seat and untied the belt from her hands. Dad, I'm going now. I threw the belt aside, got back in the car quickly, and turned around to leave before my father-in-law could react. Liu Hua watched the disappearing car, then looked at Liu Li beside him. His face instantly darkened. Liu Li looked at the discarded belt on the ground, her expression complicated. Was he so disgusted that he didn't even want the belt that had touched her? You wretched girl. What have you done now to make Xiao Wang angry? I'll beat you to death. Liu Hua spoke coldly. Liu Li didn't even turn her head. Go ahead. Beat me to death. There's no point in living anyway. Liu Hua raised his hand, but ultimately let it fall weakly. He turned around, went inside, and closed the door, but he left the porch light on for her. Liu Li crouched by the roadside. The night wind made her shiver. Her heart was even colder than the weather. Wang Lin, are you really going to be this ruthless? Everything I did was for you. Late in the night, mother-in-law Wang Xiuqing came out in her pajamas. Seeing her shivering daughter, she sighed. Daughter, do you regret it now? Mom, I really regret it. This family is shattered. I can't fix it. Come inside, Wang Xiuqing said, draping a coat over her daughter and helping her up. Let's see what Xiao Wang is thinking. No matter how wrong she was still her daughter. When I got home, it was already the middle of the night. My anger still hadn't subsided. That disgusting woman had drugged me. She was getting bolder and bolder. Lu Li, I thought, it looks like I'll have to guard myself against you from now on. The next morning my father-in-law called. I hesitated for a moment, then answered, Dad, just ask Lu Li yourself. I have things to do. There was a moment of silence. Then Lu Hua asked cautiously, Xiao Wang, are you planning to divorce her? Whether we divorce or not, isn't up to me. If Lu Li wants to continue this marriage, she can come back. If she wants a divorce, then from now on, we're strangers. I hung up immediately after saying that. In Lu family village, Lu Hua looked at the disconnected call and sighed helplessly. Old lady, what did Xiao Wang say? Wang Xiuqing asked. He told us to ask Lu Li. He looked pretty angry last night. Go, wake her up. Wang Xiuqin felt a little reluctant, but she still walked to the door. She called out several times. No response from inside. The door was locked from the inside. A bad feeling rose in her heart. Liu Hua heard the commotion and rushed over. He grabbed a hammer and smashed the door open. There lay Liu Li on the bed, her face pale as death. He lifted the blanket. The entire bed was soaked in blood. Wang Xiuqin screamed and tried to run to her daughter. Don't scream. Liu Hua forced himself to stay calm. Call your brother. Get to the hospital. He grabbed Liu Li's wrist and felt a faint pulse. He breathed a sigh of relief. She was still alive, but she had lost too much blood. They had to get her to a hospital immediately. I had just come out of the Industry and Commerce Bureau with Chen Hai. The company registration documents had already been submitted. Then we went to the rented storefront to start planning the renovation. That's when my mother-in-law called. Xiao Wang, Liu Li slit her wrists last night. She's at the city hospital now. If you're willing to come, please come see her. I was stunned. She actually tried to kill herself? From my mother-in-law's tone, it sounded like she hadn't succeeded. What a shame. Mom, don't panic. I'll be right there. I hung up and said to Chen Hai, keep an eye on the renovation. I have something to take care of. When I got to the hospital room, I asked, Mom, Dad, how is Liu Li? She lost too much blood, Liu Hua said. She's still getting a transfusion. She hasn't woken up yet. Xiao Wang, what exactly happened between you two last night? Why would she do something like this? Uncle Liu Li questioned me. I thought for a moment. Actually, it's nothing major. Liu Li drugged me and forced herself on me. You understand, I have resistance to that kind of thing. It's normal. We had a fight. I was afraid I might do something rash, so I took her back to your place. I never thought she would do this. I put on a regretful expression at just the right moment. My father-in-law patted my shoulder. This isn't your fault. Don't blame yourself. You both need to calm down. After Lu Li is discharged, I'll bring her home. Think carefully about whether to continue or not. After this incident, Lu Hua had a little more tolerance for Lu Li. He was truly afraid of outliving his own child. My heart felt a little cold. My in-laws' attitude was starting to lean toward Lu Li. The bonds of blood and affection were not so easily severed. I busied myself taking care of Lu Li at the hospital. I had to restore my position in the eyes of her parents. If I had been absent today, their hearts would have completely shifted to their daughter. At 9 o'clock that night, Lu Li woke up. She looked at me, dozing off by her bedside, and reached out to touch my face. Husband, am I in heaven? I grabbed her hand and said gently, rest well, don't move around. She held my hand tightly and wouldn't let go. A smile appeared on her face. Lu Hua quietly left the room. Husband, please forgive me. I can't live without you. I was silent for a moment, then said bitterly, Lu Li, I need time. What you did and those videos online, they stab my heart every single day. I can't just forgive you like that. I took the opportunity to pull my hand away. Since you're awake, I'm gonna go now. Dad is right. We both need to sing and think. Whether to continue or give up. I really don't have an answer right now. Mom, take care of Luli. I'm leaving. Luli wanted to stop me, but couldn't find an excuse. She could only watch me leave. Outside the hospital, I sat in my car and glared at the building with venomous eyes. My father-in-law's every word was team-shit toward his daughter. Was blood really that important? Could it forgive any mistake, no matter how great? Just wait, I thought. You'll grow to hate her eventually. She didn't die this time. There's always next time. The next day, I didn't go to the hospital. Instead, I went to the rented storefront and discussed the company's plans with Chen Hai. We also finalized all the paperwork. Chen Hai held the business license and stared at it. Daerun Human Resources Co. Ltd. Legal representative, Wang Lin. He laughed foolishly. Linga, you're the boss now. Doesn't that mean you should treat me to a meal? I laughed. Fine. Buy some groceries and let's celebrate at the orphanage. Luli had been discharged 5 days ago and had gone back to her parents' home. I was the one who took her there. We hadn't spoken in days. Some things needed time to ferment before they took effect. On the way back from the orphanage, Chen Hai said with emotion, a month ago, I was still working the assembly line. Now my whole life has changed. Those soul-crushing factory lines really do wear you down. All jobs are the same, I said. You have to give something to get something. Only working for yourself is truly worth it. When I got home, the wedding photo on the bedroom wall was go-eye glaring. I took it down, tore it into pieces, threw it into an ashtray, and burned it. Li, I thought, the more I loved you before, the more I hate you now. Why did you have to betray me? Memories of the past flooded my mind, leaving only resentment behind. 3 days later, I dressed in formal wear and went to the storefront. Chen Hai was already waiting. The sign for Daerun Human Resources Co. Limited was extremely eye-catching. On either side were couplets, business flourishing, reaching far and wide, profits abundant, reputation long-lasting. The horizontal banner read, there's a way to wealth. Not bad, very tasteful, I praised. Linga, should we set off firecrackers to celebrate? Chen Hai asked. This isn't the countryside, I said. Don't even think about it. Just put up the recruitment posters, add a notice, free labor service fees, for the first 3 days. You got it. At noon, a few young people with dyed hair and all sorts of colors walked into the shop. Boss, are you eating? Should we come back later? I put down my takeout. It's fine. What kind of work are you looking for? If they're an electronics factory with lots of pretty girls, we're looking for girlfriends. I said, Jinhua Electronics is hiring a lot of people right now. They make car toys. The work is easy and flexibly. Lots of pretty girls too. About 5,000 a month, but you have to work the night shift. I can handle staying up late, one of the young men laughed. There are fewer supervisors at night. Better for flirting. After they filled out their forms, I said, make sure you do something about your hair. Otherwise you won't get in. Got it, boss. Then they left, laughing. That evening, Chen Hai flipped through the records and laughed. Linga, 10 people found jobs through us today. Does that count as a great start? Not bad, I said. Tomorrow will be even better. Back at the neighborhood, I sat in the car and lit a cigarette. Li had been in her hometown for over 10 days now. We hadn't been in touch. I didn't know if she was drowning in the rumors or slowly getting used to it. Thinking about this is useless, I told myself. I just hope nothing unexpected happens. In Liu family village, Li sat on the second floor balcony, looking at the moon. Wang Shuqin stood beside her. 10 days, her mother said. What have you decided? Continue or give up? Mom, Li said. I can't let go of Wang Lin. It doesn't matter if you can't let go, her mother replied. The question is whether he can accept you. You're so smart. How could you do something so stupid? It was the first time Wang Shuqin had asked for the reason. He had something on me, Li admitted. If I didn't cooperate, I would have gone to prison, but it's handled now. He's not going to accept you again easily. The next day, I called Chen Hai. I have something to do today. You're in charge of the shop. Consider it a test. Linga, we've only been open 2 days and you already want to be an absentee boss? Chen Hai said helplessly. I really have something to do. Just handle the hiring. Salary around 5,000. More if performance is good. It would be best to hire a young pretty girl to attract customers. It'll also create opportunities for you to find a girlfriend. Linga, you're exploiting your employees. It's called the pretty girl effect. Alright, the main point is to hire pretty girls. I hung up and looked at myself in the mirror. A sinister, charming smile spread across my face. Li, I thought. Are you ready? After careful consideration, I still felt it was best to keep her by my side. It would be easier to observe her state of mind and adjust my plans accordingly. Also, I was afraid that if she stayed in her hometown too long, she might get over her psychological shadows, and I was worried that if I waited too long, my in-laws might think I was going to divorce her. 3 hours later, I drove into Liu family village, honking my horn from time to time. Everyone who was awake saw me. Isn't that Wang Lin? Why is he back again? They probably haven't divorced yet. Maybe he's here to divorce her. Li is so shameless. I couldn't hear these remarks, but my goal was achieved. I wanted the whole village to see me forgive Li and take her back. I parked the car in front of Li's house. Sure enough, a crowd of onlookers had followed. I adjusted my expression and got out of the car. My in-laws were already waiting at the door. Xiao Wang, you're here. What have you decided? Li Hua asked. Mom, Dad, I thought it through. I love Li. I want to take her back. But Li did, I interrupted him. Dad, I can say I can forget, but you wouldn't believe me. So I have one condition. Tell me, Li must stay at home full-time from now on. I don't need her to work and make money. Just stay at home. This was essentially house arrest. She would lose her social life. Her life would consist only of me and the kitchen. Liu Hua was still hesitating when Li appeared on the second floor balcony, her face full of joy. Husband, I agree. I'll stay at home full-time, do your laundry and cooking. Just please don't cold shoulder me anymore. Otherwise, I'll really go crazy. Oh my god. Wang Lin actually forgave Li. Maybe he really loves her. This kid is good. He stays by her side. Hearing the whispers behind me, I smiled faintly. Okay, wife. I might still be a little cold at first, but I'll adapt. Let's go home. Liu threw herself into my arms, crying tears of joy. Husband, you're so good to me. I suppressed the disgust in my heart and held her. Wife, let's go home. Xiao Wang is such a good kid. Liu is lucky. Such a good man, and she ruined him. I was secretly pleased. My image was completely established. From now on, no matter what Liu said, no one would believe her. After saying goodbye to my in-laws, I drove away with Liu. In the car, Liu kept calling out, husband. I answered impatiently, feeling a chill inside. Husband, you won't cold shoulder me anymore, will you? Probably not. No, you have to promise. Let it happen naturally. I'll try to consider your feelings. I was a little irritated. As soon as we got home, Liu tried to kiss me. I stopped her head and said, I need time. I'm not used to intimate actions. She looked disappointed. I said, you stay home first. I'm going to check on the shop. Liu looked at the mess in the house, picked up a mop, and started cleaning. After cleaning the living room, she did the dishes. By the afternoon, she had cleaned the entire house. She noticed that the wedding photo by the bed was missing. She sat on the couch dejectedly. Is a home without a wedding photo still a home? When I came home, I nodded with satisfaction at the spotless house. Liu, wearing her maid outfit, bowed and presented tea. Husband, you've worked hard. Welcome home. I took the hot tea and sat down. She massaged my shoulders from behind. Husband, did you hide the wedding photo? I was angry before and burned it. Her massage became heavier, her voice trembling. Can we take a new one? I don't have time, and I don't want to. It's fine like this. Another day, I'll get a painting to hang. I refused directly. Liu's eyes dimmed, and her movements slowed. I laughed coldly inside. I would never take a wedding photo with her again. I didn't even see her as a person. After enjoying her service, I got up to wash up. Liu sat on the sofa, her eyes shining with hope. My attitude was much better than before. She saw hope. Lingo, we've had the recruitment ad up for days. Why hasn't anyone come to apply? Are our requirements too high? Chen Hai said gloomily. Haven't a few come? You're the one who chased them away because they weren't pretty enough. I laughed. Those were middle-aged aunties. They didn't even read the ad properly. Let's take it slow. No rush. I looked at the documents. Chen Hai, you lead the group to Wanying Technology for interviews. There are over 20 people this time. Take it seriously. Got it. He left on his electric scooter. In recent days, Darun's reputation had spread. Our job postings were honest. Job seekers were willing to come to us. A young, pretty woman pushed the door open. I stood up, poured her water, and asked, Beautiful, what kind of work are you looking for? Wang Lin? She took the water, a little surprised. We met at the bar. My name is Li Shiyu. Oh, it's you. Since we know each other, I'll waive the service fee. Big brother, you're so eager. You'll make me think you have ulterior motives, she teased. You're a beauty. It's normal for me to have thoughts. But you have to give me the chance. Would you care to join me for dinner at the Yan Hotel tonight? Li Shiyu's cheeks turned crimson. She picked up her water cup and drank. I knew when to stop. Just kidding. What kind of job are you looking for? I saw you're hiring. I don't know if I qualify. She looked nervous. I used to do financial management. The factory's profits were bad, so I was let go. I sized her up carefully. You fit the requirements very well. Let me see your resume. Li Shiyu, your name is very poetic, I complimented. You didn't remember my name at all, did you? She rolled her eyes. Your major is good. We happen to need a financial person. I'll hire you as our financial director. What do you think? Li Shiyu was overjoyed. She took the contract and signed it. You're not lying to me, are you? Our company only has 3 people right now. You're in charge of finances, so yes, you're the financial director. She was instantly unhappy. I thought I'd have subordinates. Turns out it's a startup. When we grow, I'll give you subordinates. I laughed. Now that you're the financial director, you have to be paid accordingly. I regretted my big mouth. Based on Nansheng's market rate, a financial director's monthly salary is 10 to 15,000. How about 10,000 a month? We're friends. You're really gonna give me the lowest rate? She shot back. I gritted my teeth. 12,000. I can't go higher. Li Shiyu beamed. Deal. Chen Hai came back from the interviews. His eyes lit up when he saw Li Shiyu. Chen Hai, this is our new financial director. Li Shiyu. Shiyu, this is our deputy director and errand boy. Chen Hai, feel free to make him do things. Chen Hai glared at me. He pretended to be formal and extended his hand. Miss Li Shiyu, welcome aboard. Director Chen, please take care of me, Li Shiyu said with a light smile. Shiyu, go home for today. Come to work tomorrow. Remember to bring your computer. After she left, Chen Hai came close. Lin Gay, we were looking for someone to lead interviews. How did we end up hiring a financial director?
What's the monthly salary? I got carried away. I wanted her to handle income and expenses, but I had a brain fart and gave her the financial director title. I smiled bitterly. 12,000.
Lin Gay, are you crazy? We might not even make that much in a month. Chen Hai was agitated. We already signed the contract. I can't pay 3 months' salary to fire her. We'll get through it, I sighed. Then as deputy director, shouldn't I also get over 10,000 a month? I slapped him on the head. Dream on, we're still in the startup phase. How did the interviews go? More than 10 went in. A few young punks thought it was too dirty and quit. Chen Hai sounded world-weary. Young people these days really can't handle hard work. Back in my day, I did every dirty job there was. We're different from them. We have no one to fall back on. They have parents to help them. They don't crave money as much. I said, feeling a pang of loneliness. The word parents, for us, it was too distant. Tired after work, I went home. Luli's outfit surprised me. She was wearing a flight attendant's uniform, black stockings with long, slender legs, very eye-catching. Welcome home, husband. The meal is ready. Please have your dinner. She bowed stiffly. I reached out and gently pinched her cheek. Don't wear this kind of clothes again. I don't like it. It wasn't that it didn't look good. It was that she didn't deserve it. I hung my jacket over her, walked into the kitchen, washed my hands, and sat down to eat. During the meal, she used her black stocking foot to rub against my leg. I lightly stepped on her toes, and she finally settled down. After the meal, she washed the dishes and sat next to me, wanting to lean on my shoulder. I moved aside a little. She lay down on the couch directly, staring at me in annoyance. Husband, you promised not to be cold to me. I work hard all day. Can't I even lean on you? You can. But not right now. I'm tired. I'm going to take a shower. Soon after, Liu Li pushed open the bathroom door, holding a towel, wanting to help me scrub my back. I closed my eyes and said nothing. She thought I agreed and happily came over. Afterward, under her care, I put on my pajamas. Liu Li's face was flushed, but her eyes were filled with disappointment. She still hadn't succeeded. Bastard. I just want a child. Why won't you help me? She looked at my back and complained. The next day, I left home without breakfast. I went to the shop. Li Shiyu was already sitting in my seat. To save money, I hadn't bought her a computer or a desk. Wang Lin, your company's accounts are so simple. I can see everything at a glance. 30,000 in expenses, less than 3,000 in income. I'm starting to wonder if you can pay my salary at the end of the month. She didn't even look up. The company is just starting. It's normal for expenses to exceed income. Next month will be better. Over 10 days since opening, we've brought in 3,000. That means we're making money. I smiled. She rolled her eyes. I smiled awkwardly. After eating the breakfast Chen Hai brought, more people started showing up outside. Two young pretty women pushed the door open. Shiyu, your first day at work. We came to see you. Chen Hai and I both brightened up. We each went to greet them. Ladies, welcome, I said, handing them the drinks I had just bought. You're the boss here? Lo Yao laughed. Shiyu, you're not being honest. You kept it all to yourself. Qin Shui teased. Don't talk nonsense. The boss is already married. I'm not that kind of person. Li Shiyu quickly explained. Chen Hai sat back down, depressed. He felt that finding a girlfriend while being around me was nearly impossible. Pretty girls all flocked to me and didn't even look at him. With 3 beauties in the shop, passers-by constantly glanced over. Some bold ones came inside. Boss, do you have any good jobs? Chen Hai stepped up. Brother, you've come to the right place. What kind of work are you looking for? The man secretly glanced at the beauties. A factory with good pay. Making money is the most important thing. Brother, that's a great attitude. Young people should prioritize making money. Chen Hai looked like he had found a kindred spirit. I walked over. Brother, do you have a job in mind? I have just one requirement. Nothing harmful to my health. Salary no less than 5,000. Chen Hai recommended something. There's a good electronics factory. Salary meets your requirement, and there are plenty of girls there too. With someone taking the lead, and the beauties attracting attention, more and more people walked in. Most kept their focus. They looked at the beauties, but didn't forget to find a job. Some, however, couldn't keep their priorities straight. A young man with a pretentious attitude tried to chat up the girlies. Ladies, do you have boyfriends? Qin Shui and Lo Yao looked up at him, then went back to playing with their phones. Complete dismissal. Surrounded by the mocking looks of the others, he left. I shook my head with a bitter smile. They brought in foot traffic, but they also made some customers leave unhappy. Overall, though, it was good. Within 2 hours, we had signed up over 100 people. The referral fee was 300 each, over 30,000 yuan. Of course, if they didn't enter the factory, the fee would be refunded. But at least for now, the money was in our pockets. I poured 2 cups of water and walked over to Qinshu and Luo Yao. Ladies, thank you for bringing so many customers. It's almost lunchtime. Would you give me the honor of treating you to lunch? Sure, Luo Yao said happily. Boss Wang, you just made over 10,000. If lunch costs less than 1,000, we're not going. Sister Luo Yao, that money isn't really earned yet. We might have to refund it later, Li Shiyu said, dissatisfied. Shiyu, you're already acting like a wife, guarding his money. Luo Yao laughed. And you said you weren't interested. Li Shiyu got embarrassed and angry. I wisely pretended to answer my phone and walked out of the shop. Soon after, I drove the 3 beauties to a nice hotel. Chen Hai had to lead the interviews. Qinshu and Luo Yao only ordered about 500 yuan worth of food. They didn't actually take advantage of me. Li Shiyu saw that there was enough food and didn't order more. After the meal, I packed up the leftovers, said goodbye to Qinshu and Luo Yao, and brought Li Shiyu back to the shop. As soon as we stepped inside, I saw Chen Hai's resentful eyes. Linga, we're brothers. This isn't right. I handed him the takeout. I promise it won't happen again. He looked at the leftovers, his resentment deepening. You forget your friends when you see a pretty woman. Li Shiyu said smugly. You're in trouble now. Deputy Director Chen is mad. You'll be running errands yourself tomorrow. That afternoon, nothing much happened. Chen Hai came over with his phone. Urgent. Linga, there's a beverage factory recruiting on Lipin. They need to fill over a dozen manager and supervisor positions. The pay is good. Let me see. I perked up. If we get this deal, we could make a lot, right? Chen Hai laughed. Li Shiyu explained. According to Lipin's rules, if they get hired, we charge a fee of 10% of the annual salary. That could be over 200,000. But that's headhunter territory. We don't have that kind of network. I was tempted. Making over 200,000 in 20+ days was attractive, but I knew I didn't have the ability. That's quick money. I'm envious. What are you envious about? We made over 30,000 today. At least 10,000 of that will stick. Plus recurring income. Our monthly earnings are still good. They're just high-end. We're not far behind, Li Shiyu said. Linga, let's stick to labor services. We can't compete in the high-end market, Chen Hai advised. I know we need to be steady now, but we can't stop here. We need to aim higher. Don't you want more out of life? I said firmly. I already had a plan. First, build up our network and capital for 3 to 5 years. Then consider headhunting. Whether it's a good idea or not, Li Shiyu took out her phone and started scrolling through videos. Her work was done. I got bored at the shop. I drove to Yangfeng Factory, one of the biggest local factories. Good pay, good environment. I had tried several times to land a partnership, but failed. This was my last attempt. I bribed the security guard with a pack of Zhonghua cigarettes and got inside. I went to the HR manager's office. I pushed the door open with a smile. Manager Su, good afternoon. Manager Su said helplessly, it's you again. We already have a partner. No matter how many times you come, it won't work. Manager Su, having a partner doesn't mean you can't add another. Why not hear my conditions? I offer you 30%. Manager Su was surprised. What did you just say? I offer you 30%. I smiled and nodded. Exactly. I'll just take a small service fee. Manager Su's face lit up. He stood up and patted my shoulder. Brother Wang, I like you more and more. From now on, all our hiring will go to you. All of it? What about your existing partner? I asked uncertainly. What partner? I only have you, he laughed. I laughed along, but cursed him in my heart. This manager Sue was greedy. I couldn't get a deal at 50-50, but 30% and he agreed immediately. Others would give me 70 and take 30. He was insatiable. Brother Wang, let me treat you to dinner today. Shaoshan Grand Hotel. Let's go now. He put his arm around my shoulder and led me out. Of course I didn't refuse. He was greedy, but efficient. After a few drinks he insisted on taking care of everything for me. The next day, I woke up with a headache. I got dressed and left. I sent a message to Chen Hai, print out Yangfeng's hiring information and post it. The template would be done by Li Shiyu. I'd send her the materials later. Lin Gay, you're amazing. Yangfeng is a big factory. They'll need hundreds of people during peak season. We'll make a big profit. After sending the message, I took a taxi from the hotel. On the way, the driver handed me a tissue. Brother, wipe off those lipstick marks on your face. I looked in the rearview mirror at the red lip prints. A strange smile curled on my lips. I took the tissue and wiped casually. Thanks, driver. When I got home, Lu Li was sitting on the couch, looking haggard. She seemed to have waited for me all night. Hearing the door, she turned instantly, joy on her face. She had called me at least 100 times, all unanswered. She had panicked long ago but didn't dare go out to look. She could only wait anxiously. Husband, you're back. She happily walked toward me. But as she got closer, her smile faded. She reached out and touched the lipstick marks on my face. Her pent-up resentment exploded. Wang Lin, what is this? You'd better explain. Explain what? Work entertaining. I had a few drinks with clients. Played around. What's the big deal? I pushed her aside tiredly. While I showered, I had smashing sounds from outside. I ignored it and showered. 10 minutes later, I came out wrapped in a towel. The living room was a mess. Lily sat on the couch, her hair disheveled. I walked over and crouched in front of her. I tucked her hair behind her ear and said gently, Lily, when you've calmed down, go make breakfast. I'm hungry. Lily looked at me in disbelief. You think I'm throwing a tantrum? She was trembling with rage. Fine, I'll show you a tantrum. She looked around for something to smash, but everything smashable was already smashed. I stepped closer, backing her into a corner. I decided to change my plan on the spot. Maybe this approach wasn't so bad. What are you trying to do? Hit me? Go ahead. Suddenly I smiled gently. I cupped her face in my hands. You look so cute when you're angry. Lily was stunned. Her heart raced. She closed her eyes and wrapped her arms around my waist. I just kissed her forehead. She opened her eyes. Liu Li was satisfied. After that, Liu Li walked out of the bedroom with a satisfied heart, cleaning up the mess she had made, humming a cheerful song under her breath. As for me, because I hadn't slept enough the night before, I watched her acting like a little woman. A cold laugh echoed in my heart. Everything was going according to plan. She would soon learn the consequences of betrayal. Husband, why don't you sleep a little longer? She said. I made black chicken soup. Drink it while it's hot. I sat on the couch scrolling through my phone. Chen Hai sent me a message. Lin Gay, the 30,000 we made yesterday. 15,000 has fully cleared. I smiled and replied, good job. 100 people and half of them dropped out. That's a loss. From now on, let's try to get everyone a job. Reduce the loss of profit. Even if it's impossible, we need to improve our service so that when people think of finding a job, they think of our shop. By the way, why didn't you come in today? Too tired, I replied. Manager Sue dragged me out last night. Couldn't get away. Lin Gay, you've fallen from grace. You didn't take me to something this good. I don't even have a girlfriend yet. Chen Hai's resentment was too deep. I quickly closed WeChat and switched to a video app to watch a show. Liu Li heard everything clearly from the kitchen. Her expression was complicated. Wang Lin had changed. Before, he never went to places like that. She didn't even have a reason to be angry. After all, she had been unfaithful first. Husband, lie down, she said, carrying the soup into the living room. I gently waved her over and made her sit down. I held her hand and praised her. Liu Li, you're really capable. It's a shame you did something stupid. Our relationship can never go back to how it was. Husband, I was wrong, she begged. I don't expect you to treat me like before. Just please don't abandon me. Silly, I said softly. Don't say I was wrong anymore. It's my fault for not spending more time with you before. That's why you did something stupid. I promise that from now on, you'll see me every day. That afternoon, I slowly made my way to the shop. Li Shiyu was sitting in front of the computer eating potato chips. I sat down next to her, without any politeness, and started eating with her. Boss, she asked while watching her show, how did you manage to land Yangfeng factory yesterday? With my excellent negotiation skills, of course. Keep bragging, she scoffed. If that were true, why didn't you get it before? I've been busy, I said. I personally negotiated the hiring information for nearly 50 factories in this shop. Yangfeng is a big factory. I thought I'd save it for later. It's not like we could open without any job listings, right? So you're saying you're pretty capable? Of course, I said proudly. Otherwise, why am I the boss and you're the employee? I was about to pour some motivational G-Ton when I got distracted by the show. Only the sound of the TV drama could be heard. I reached for some chips without thinking, and grabbed Li Shiyu's hand instead. What are you doing? She snapped. My hand isn't a potato chip. I let go awkwardly and changed the subject. Look, he's pinning her against the wall. Li Shiyu rolled her eyes at me and continued watching the show. Chen Hai came back and saw this scene. He was furious. This is too much. I'm out there working hard, and you two are watching TV shows? I tossed him a bag of snacks. Go sit over there and eat. Before long, Chen Hai had sat down and was watching the show too. After one episode ended, Li Shiyu's snacks were finished. I stood up, feeling bored, and said with mock seriousness, well, you people are openly watching shows during work hours. You have no respect for your boss. Do you want me to deduct your wages? Chen Hai looked confused. Linga, you're tearing down the bridge after crossing it. I wasn't watching, I said righteously. Li Shiyu looked up at me. You just have too much energy. Hire a few pretty female employees to channel it. My eyes lit up. I leaned in and asked obsequiously, Shiyu, do those two friends of yours have jobs? Would they be willing to come work here? Li Shiyu laughed. Don't get any ideas about them. They're not short on money. Your little company, the two of them together could open 200 of these, and that's not counting their family money. I hadn't expected them to be two rich women. Looks like joining a wealthy family isn't easy, I joked. I was thinking of becoming a live-in son-in-law. Handsome, a voice came from the door. Who exactly are you planning to be a live-in son-in-law for? Lu Yao pushed the door open and walked in, clearly having heard me. I stood up awkwardly. Sister Lu, I was just joking. I wasn't joking, she said with a grin. Are you picking me or Sister Kin? Chen Hai shot me a sympathetic look, then pretended to answer his phone, and ran off. You, of course, Sister Lu, I said. You're cute and you speak well. Li Shiyu laughed. Why didn't you pick Sister Kin? She's beautiful and sexy too, also a rich woman. She's too cold, I said. Too much of a queen. She makes me feel inferior. You're more approachable, Sister Lu. So you're saying I'm not as good as Sister Kin? Lu Yao stopped smiling and questioned me. This woman changed moods faster than flipping through a book. One moment she was all smiles. The next, she was cold as ice. I never said that, Sister Lu, I stammered. You're definitely here to see Shiyu. You two chat. I'll be going. With that, I ran away like my life depended on it. Talking to a woman looking for a fight, anything you say can and will be used against you. The best strategy is to just leave. Laughter erupted from the shop behind me. Chen Hai handed me a cigarette, and I squatted on the curb, smoking gloomily. Linga, he said, I think what Shiyu said makes sense. You need to assign me some pretty female subordinates. I'll work better with motivation. I rolled my eyes at him. You want me to find you a wife too? Every day so many women come to the shop looking for work. If you like any of them, just hire them. I don't have time to handle that. Linga, you mean it? He asked excitedly. Do whatever you want, I said. But don't hire 5 or 6 at once. I can't handle that. You watch the shop. I'm going home. Over the next month, I basically lived a 2-point existence, running between home and the shop. The shop situation had completely stabilized. We made at least 1,000 a day at minimum, and on good days, over 5,000. After paying everyone's salaries, I could still pocket tens of thousands a month. Back at home, Liu Li would look at my tired face. She had grown used to this life. After making me eat breakfast, she would sit on the couch, staring toward the bedroom, her eyes full of unwillingness. She wanted to have me all to herself, but she wasn't qualified to ask for anything. Husband, she asked one day, can we really never go back to how we were? I made mistakes, but you made mistakes too. Why can't we forgive each other? If I had heard those words, I would have just laughed coldly. Who was she to talk about forgiveness? At the dinner table, I was enjoying the food she kept piling onto my plate, when I suddenly said, Isn't Dad's 55th birthday in 3 days? Husband, thank you for remembering, she said. Yes, 3 more days. If you're busy, we don't have to go back. I frowned. What kind of talk is that? How can we not go back for Dad's birthday? We'll go back in a couple of days. Help Dad with some things beforehand. Husband, you're so good to me. Just as she said that, Liu Li suddenly felt nauseous. She rushed to the bathroom and started vomiting. She's pregnant, I thought. The idea floated up in my mind. I hadn't avoided touching her much this past month, so pregnancy was within expectations. I crouched behind her and patted her back. Liu Li, let's go to the hospital and get you checked. Liu Li wanted to get checked too. She thought this was her way out, that she could use a child to tie me down. Husband, let me wash up first, then we'll go. I drove her to the hospital. After they drew her blood, we left. The blood test would take 5 or 6 hours for results. In the car, Liu Li acted coy and wanted to go shopping for clothes. Ever since I had brought her back, she had never made a request like this. Now she probably thought that with a child growing inside her, her status had changed. A cold laugh echoed in my heart, but I didn't refuse. I accompanied her shopping for over 2 hours. She bought clothes for me the entire time. But on the drive back, she sent me over a dozen Taobao links for sexy lingerie and asked me to pay. I agreed without hesitation. Liu Li was a full-time housewife now. She only had the 100 yuan a day I gave her for groceries. If she wanted money, she had to come to me. The next day, I went to the hospital early to pick up the blood test report. Back in the car, I lit a cigarette. Only after calming myself did I open it. Liu Li was indeed pregnant, about a month along. The timeline matched. Very good. Very good. Liu Li, I wonder if you'll be able to handle what comes next. I threw away my cigarette butt and drove to the market to buy an old hen. Even if it was just for show, I had to make her feel cared for. Back at home, Liu Li was dressed in a Playboy bunny outfit. Husband, welcome home. Doesn't this outfit look good? It looks good, I said. Little bunny carrying a little bunny. Go put on some clothes and stew this old hen. Good for your health. Don't worry, she said. Only you get to see this. I'll put on clothes when I go to the kitchen. She grabbed a coat and put it on. But when she took the old hen, she didn't know what to do. Husband, I don't know how to kill a chicken. What a pain, I said. Go boil some water. I'll do it. I took the old hen, grabbed a knife, and went into the bathroom. 2 minutes later, I came out holding the headless chicken. I washed my hands and said, call me when the water boils. I'll pluck the feathers. Liu Li looked at the clean, precise cut on the chicken's neck and backed up 2 steps in fear. She inexplicably imagined herself being cut in 2, like that. She felt a little lucky that I hadn't shown up that night when she first did what she did. Actually, my actions that night had flaws. If she had spent 5 to 10,000 yuan to hire a detective, she could have found out that I had rented an apartment 10 kilometers away. But she trusted me too much. She had never suspected a thing. During lunch, Liu Li served me like a little bunny, attending to my every need. The soup meant to nourish her. Most of it ended up in my stomach. This life isn't bad, I thought, but it's not what I want. I miss the old Liu Li, the one with a bit of a temper. That was the perfect version of her in my memory. After cleaning the table, Liu Li busied herself in the kitchen. I sat on the couch smoking, staring blankly at a corner, lost in thought. Should I let this child be born? The child is innocent. Would doing this be too cruel? But then I thought of Liu Li's betrayal, and my heart grew harder and harder. A child with this woman? Better off without it. Just as I was thinking this, Liu Li propped her hands on the table and leaned in close. Husband, I'm sorry. I'm pregnant. We can't sleep together anymore. Go change your clothes, I said. We're going to your hometown. Dad's birthday is in 2 days. Your parents should know about the pregnancy. I tugged at her little bunny tail. Liu Li didn't want to go back, but she had to. That was her father. She stood up, kissed me on the cheek, and bounced happily into the bedroom. I needed to make her understand that only within this 100-square-meter house was she still Liu Li. Outside of this home, she was a woman to be despised. I would slowly deepen her dependence on this home, and then, in the end, destroy the last pure place in her heart. After changing clothes, Liu Li hid behind me as we left the house. Every time she went out, she had to summon tremendous courage. The dirty looks and muttering around her never truly went away. She could only endure in silence, afraid of causing me trouble. Once we were in the car, her expression relaxed a little, but she still wasn't at ease. Going back to her hometown meant facing a crowd of relatives. She couldn't bear those strange looks. Liu Li spoke very little during the drive. The contrast between her lightness at home and her oppression outside was like night and day. Before dark, the car entered Liu family village. As soon as they entered the village, Liu Li rolled up her window. She wanted to hide the fact that she was back, even if it wouldn't stay hidden for long. The quiet rejection of acquaintances was often more painful than the insults of strangers. That was the weight of blood ties. Mom, Dad, how have you been lately? I said with an ancient smile. Xiao Wang, Liu Hua said with a smile, his voice full of concern. Why are you two back so early? This won't interfere with your work, will it? You can't neglect your work. Liu Li stood off to the side like a ghost, not even receiving a single greeting. Mom, my work isn't as important as Dad's birthday. I'm the boss now. It's fine if I don't go in for a few days. You started a company? Liu Hua asked in surprise. What kind? Dad, I started a labor service company. If anyone in the village needs a job, send them to me. Free of charge. Not bad, he said. Being your own boss means you don't have to take orders from anyone. I was about to light a cigarette when I suddenly frowned and said to Liu Li, go stand over there. The smoke isn't good for you. This sudden concern made Liu Li inexplicably want to cry. She nodded. Mom, Dad, I'm going to my room first. I'll cook later. Let your mother cook, I said, watching her back. You need to rest. Liu Hua thought for a moment. Mom, Dad, Liu Li is over a month pregnant. The reason we came back early is to share the good news. I put on a happy expression. My in-laws were overjoyed. This child was the good luck charm that could save this family. I'll go catch an old hen to nourish Xiao Li, Wang Shuchen said, smiling as she stood up. Mom, Xiao Li doesn't like chicken soup. Whether she likes it or not, she'll drink it, Wang Shuchen said firmly. If I have to, I'll pour it down her throat. My mouth twitched. I didn't know how to respond. Liu Hua saw my embarrassment. Xiao Wang, ignore her. Let's talk. Neighbors started coming by to visit. Aunts, uncles, if any of your relatives need jobs, send them to me. I guarantee they'll find something satisfying. I handed out business cards as I spoke. Darun Human Resources Co. Limited. Xiao Wang, you've made something of yourself. Just a small company, I said humbly. Liu Hua suddenly turned to Lu Shengye. Old Ye, isn't your Xiao Yuan an adult now? Let Xiao Wang find him a job before he wastes away at home. Really? Xiao Wang, can you help Xiao Yuan find work? Lu Shengye asked excitedly. Uncle Lu, as long as Xiao Yuan can handle hard work, it's fine. Lu Shengye rushed home and soon returned, dragging Lu Yuan behind him. Lu Yuan's face was pale, the look of someone who had lacked exercise for a long time. Linga, is there any relatively easy work? Lu Yuan suddenly spoke up. I can't do anything too tiring. Don't give him manual labor, his father said. 8 hours a day is fine. You little brat, being so picky. Lu Shengye smacked him on the head. Xiao Wang, try to find him something easy. I'm afraid he'll run back home if it's too hard. Uncle Lu, I said, I'll put Xiao Yuan in an electronics factory. The work isn't heavy. It's CEO, and there are lots of young people and lots of girls. Maybe he'll even bring you back a daughter-in-law someday, I joked. The next day I woke up early and stood on the second floor balcony, deep in thought. After Lu Li got pregnant, her status in this family had slowly started to rise, but her ending was already sealed. Xiao Wang, you're up early, Lu Hua said, suddenly looking at me seriously. Lu Li is pregnant. What are your thoughts? Dad, I said, maybe I don't love her as much as before, but I want this child. This is my child. A faint smile hung at the corner of my lips. Lu Hua let down his guard and patted my shoulder. Xiao Wang, Lu Li is my daughter. Even if she did something wrong, I have to protect her. I hope you can understand. Dad, I understand, I said. Blood is thicker than water. After breakfast, I wandered around the village. Whenever I saw an elder, I would offer them a cigarette and chat. I needed to build closer relationships. If anything happened later, they would most likely side with me. At noon, I ate at Lu Shengye's house. After a few rounds of drinks, his face was red. Xiao Wang, with your qualities, you could easily find someone better. Lu Li isn't good enough for you. You've had too much to drink. You're talking nonsense. Aunt Lu scolded, glaring at him. I'm not wrong, Lu Shengye insisted, but his wife's glare silenced him. I tried to smooth things over. Aunt Lu, don't be angry. Uncle Lu was just talking nonsense because of the alcohol. I don't mind. Xiao Wang, I'm sorry. Lu Shengye apologized. I spoke without thinking. Uncle Lu, it's fine. Let's eat. When I left, Lu Shengye forced sausages and 30 caddies of cured meat into my hands for helping Xiao Yan find a job. Giving money would be too impersonal. Behind me, Lu Yuan suddenly asked, Linga, why don't you just divorce Sister Lu Li after what she did to you? Xiao Yan, you don't understand, I said, my tone slightly cold. Whether she's good enough for me is my decision. Don't say things like that in front of Lu Li anymore. She's pregnant and very sensitive. Lu Yuan glared at me defiantly but said nothing more. He put down his things, said goodbye and left. Back at my father-in-law's house I said, Dad, don't cook tomorrow. We're eating out. It's your birthday. I need to show my appreciation. In the bedroom, Lu Li looked at me, reeking of alcohol, and frowned. Husband, try to drink less. It's bad for your health. I was happy, I muttered, lying down. Uncle Lu kept urging me to drink. I can't refuse an elder. She shook her head helplessly, poured me a glass of water, and placed it on the nightstand. Drink some water before you rest, or you'll wake up with a headache. Go out, I said. Call me for dinner. The alcohol fumes are good for you. The next day I took Lu Li and her parents to the county seat. All of my father-in-law's siblings came, more than 20 people in total. I took them to a buffet hot pot restaurant, spending over 2,000 to book 2 tables. After a few rounds of drinks, the atmosphere was harmonious. My in-laws' smiles never faded. They kept praising me. Lu Li sat beside them, smiling along but saying very little. She was afraid her relatives might say something hurtful. I juggled entertaining the relatives while also putting food on Lu Li's plate. This scene deepened everyone's affection for me, but their impression of Lu Li continued to worsen. Brother-in-law, Lu Xin said, walking over with her wine glass and draping her arm over my shoulder. I heard you started a labor service company. Do you still need people? Can I come? Wang Shuchen's eyes twitched slightly. She seemed a little unhappy. Cousin Lu Xin, are you still in school? I asked, confused. Brother-in-law, I graduated last year, she said with a light laugh. Did you forget? Look at my brain, I said, smacking my forehead. You graduated from a good school. Coming to work for me would be a waste. Doesn't your dad want you to be a teacher? It's hard to find a teaching job, she said. Rather than sitting around doing nothing, I'd rather work for you. And I can try my luck in Nanshang while I'm at it. Fine, I agreed. You can start at my place first. I'll help you look for connections in the school system. Thank you, brother-in-law, she said. I finished my drink. Your turn. Lucien downed her glass of cola in one gulp. That's cheating, I said with a bitter smile. You're drinking cola and making me drink liquor. Brother-in-law, however much you want is fine, she said slyly. Xiao Wang, I'm entrusting Lucien to you, Uncle said, standing up. Uncle, it's my duty, I replied. Lily came over with the birthday cake. When she saw Liu Xin's arm on my shoulder, her eyes turned slightly hostile. They had always fought over things since they were children. Their relationship had never been good. Dad, blow out the candles, Liu Li said, lighting them. Liu Hua looked at her. Her recent behavior had been acceptable. At least, she wasn't giving him dirty looks. After the candles were blown out, Liu Xin took charge of cutting the cake. Liu Li knew that any food she offered would probably be met with disgust. Rather than face the humiliation, she decided not to bother. Second uncle, here's a big piece for you. You have to finish it all, Liu Xin said, handing over the cake. You little girl, are you trying to make me explode? Liu Hua laughed as he accepted it. 4 or 5 little kids crowded around, clamoring for cake. Liu Xin spoke firmly. Stop yelling. Everyone line up. If you don't follow the rules, I'll spank you. She was good with children. She actually had a bit of a teacher's demeanor. Liu Li watched Liu Xin surrounded by her younger cousins and felt a pang of loneliness. In the past, that had been her. After the gathering ended, I booked a few rooms at a hotel in the county. Everyone had been drinking. Nobody could drive home. Brother-in-law, don't forget to call me when you leave, Liu Xin said. If you dare leave without me, you'll be in trouble. Don't worry, I said. You know where I live. I can't run away. I was just trying to save on bus fare, she explained quietly. Remember to call me. With that, she drove her uncle's car, taking her family home. Lu Li was feeling uneasy. She sensed a crisis. Maybe because of Liu Xin. Maybe because of something else. After settling her parents and the others who weren't going home, I held my head and said, help me to my room. Then book yourself a separate room. I'm drunk. I'm afraid I might say or do something I regret. Lu Li didn't think much of it. She was pregnant and knew that some things couldn't be rushed. Back in the room, I fell asleep quickly. I wasn't a good drinker, but I handled my alcohol well. I never said anything I shouldn't. The next morning after breakfast, I sent my in-laws home. Shortly after, Liu Yan came down with his suitcase, brought by his parents. Xiao Wang, we're entrusting this boy to you, Liu Shengye said. Uncle Liu, it's my duty. Then I picked up Liu Xin, and we left Liu family village. When we got back to my place, Liu Li made tea, then went out to buy groceries. With guests in the house, she needed to be a good hostess. Even if she didn't like Liu Xin, she couldn't neglect the proper etiquette. After Liu Li left, Liu Xin grew bolder. Brother-in-law, what's the status between you and my sister? Why haven't you divorced? Liu Yuan also perked up his ears. That's none of your business, is it? I said with a smile, sipping my tea. If I got divorced, would you still come to my house as my cousin-in-law? Without that identity, I have others, she muttered. Would you really refuse to see me? What did you say? I asked. I didn't catch that. I said my sister isn't worth you treating her this well, she said. And you're not worth wasting your time on her. If Liu Li heard that, she'd probably start a fight. I looked at her serious face, and a faint smile curled at the corner of my mouth. Cousin Liu Xin, are you trying me to divorce because you have feelings for me? If your sister found out, she'd fight you to the death. Her cheeks flushed slightly. She pretended to be angry. Brother-in-law, you're getting more and more conceited. If I had feelings for you, I would have snatched you back then. It wouldn't have been my sister's turn. So you're saying I was rejected by you. So you threw me to your sister? I said, speechless. Those are your words, not mine, she said coquettishly. The 3 of us had attended the same university. She used to come visit me often. My hand, holding the teacup, paused. I gave her a deep look, then drank in silence. I understood her anshir, but I didn't want to hurt this mischievous girl. This had nothing to do with her. But if she insisted on getting involved, I couldn't say for sure what I might do. Soon Liu Li returned with groceries. The 3 of us were watching TV. Nothing that would upset her. She smiled, changed out the pot of hot tea, and went into the kitchen to cook. Sis, let me help you, Liu Xin said, following her inside. My eyes twitched. I felt like she was competing with Liu Li, or maybe showing herself off. Liu Li made some room. Even though she disliked her, she could only put on a smiling face. Brother-in-law, how can you still make her do all this? Liu Xin said. Given her current situation, she couldn't afford the leisurely pregnancy she might have had before. An hour later, the food was on the table. Brother-in-law, guess which dish I made? Liu Xin teased. Liu Li's eyes flickered with displeasure, but she said nothing. I picked up a piece of sweet and sour pork ribs. I didn't know you could cook something so complicated. Good skills. You haven't even tasted it yet. This is so Fuyan. Just looking at the color you can tell it's good, I said, putting it in my mouth. It really is delicious. You must have practiced for a long time. Of course, she said proudly. Just look at who made it. After the meal, I took Liu Xin and Liu Yan out. Brother-in-law, help me find a place to live, Liu Xin said. Staying at your place isn't appropriate. All right, let's take a look. We went to the shop. First, I arranged Liu Xin's onboarding. After chatting briefly with Li Shiyu, I took her to look for an apartment, leaving Liu Yan at the shop to watch over things. Liu Xin looked at 4 or 5 places before finally finding one she liked. The rent was originally 1,500, but she haggled with the landlord for an hour and got it down to 1,300. All that trouble for 200 yuan? Was it worth it? I said. How is it not worth it? She said. I only have 5,000 yuan on me. I have to be careful. She dragged me to the supermarket. Over 3 hours later, she finally bought everything she needed. I was carrying bags upon bags. My legs were numb. But she seemed completely unfazed. Liu Xin, let's call it a day, I begged. We can come back another time. She looked at me and laughed. Brother-in-law, you're out of shape. We barely walked anywhere, and you're already exhausted. Seeing my face getting darker, she softened her tone. I'll buy you some milk tea, okay? Please, just let's go back, I said. I can't carry anymore. I led her toward the parking lot. She followed obediently, not daring to act up anymore. After dropping the bags off at her rental, I was sweating profusely. Brother-in-law, is it really that tiring? She said, handing me a tissue. I didn't think it was that heavy. Of course you didn't find it heavy, I said, wiping my face. You walked around empty-handed like an old man. I was giving you a chance to show off, she said, with a coquettish laugh. Guys love to show off in front of pretty girls. Besides, you're my brother-in-law. Of course I leave this kind of thing to you. I looked her up and down. Pretty girl, sure. But where do you look like a weak little thing? I bet your abs are more defined than mine. Her cheeks flushed. She pointed at me and scolded playfully. Brother-in-law, you're so bad. You've never seen me without clothes, so how do you know I have abs? Have you been peeping at me? I didn't respond. I glanced at her slender waist. I had to admit, all those years of yoga hadn't been wasted. Her figure was perfect. At 4 in the afternoon, I brought Liu Xin back to the shop. It was almost closing time, and everyone else had returned. Chen Hai saw us, and his eyes lit up. He came over. Linga, what brings you here? And with a beautiful woman? Aren't you afraid I'll tattle? He rubbed his fingers together, asking for hush money. I laughed and punched him. Don't talk nonsense. This is my cousin. She'll be working here from now on. Liu Xin smiled, rolled her eyes at me, and went over to chat with the female employees. Chen Hai pulled me outside. This cousin of yours is pretty good. Prettier than Liu Li. You thinking about it? What are you thinking? I said irritably. If Liu Li's family found out, they'd tear me apart. Maybe after the divorce, I added. Just then, Li Shiyu crouched down beside me. Wang Lin, the factory sent over the fun chum. Total of 50,000. Got it. As we were talking, Liu Yuan came back on his little electric scooter, carrying a big bag of drinks. This kid is quite thoughtful, I said with a smile. Uncle Liu's worries were unnecessary. Little Yuan is pretty good, Chen Hai said, grabbing a bottle. Liu Yuan smiled awkwardly. Which factory are you sending him to? Chen Hai asked, lighting a cigarette. If he doesn't know, I'll choose. That evening, after booking a hotel room for Liu Yuan, I drove Liu Xin back to her rental. I was about to leave when she grabbed my arm. Brother-in-law, why are you in such a hurry to leave? It's not like my sister matters that much to you anyway. Come in and have some tea. Unable to refuse, I followed her inside. She brought out 2 cups of hot tea. Brother-in-law, try my tea-making skills. Not bad, I said, after a sip. You really are a tea master. Of course, she said, sitting down next to me and draping her arm over my shoulder. Brother-in-law, it's just the 2 of us here. Tell me, where does my sister really stand in your heart? Why do you care so much? I reminded her. This is between you and your sister. She pouted and didn't continue that topic. I stood up to leave, but she accidentally bumped into the leg of the couch and lost her balance, falling toward me. Brother-in-law, catch me. I didn't have time to react. She drongdalled me onto the couch. We were very close enough to feel each other's breath. Before I could push her away, she suddenly leaned in and kissed me. I pushed her away quickly, a hint of anger in my eyes. Liu Xin, do you know what you're doing? She licked her lips and laid it all out. Of course I know. My sister isn't good enough for you. I've decided to take her place. She's not good enough, but you are, I said mockingly. Setting aside the family relationship, I'm pure. I don't have any of her flaws. If you agree, I'll be your first and your last. Do you know your sister is pregnant? I asked. I know, she said. Just over a month. She can get rid of it. I calmed down and tried to twin her. Liu Xin, if I abandoned your sister to be with you, how would you face your family? What would they say about you? I don't care, she said firmly. She's the one who lost her virtue. Who can blame me? Wang Lin, what else are you holding on to? Are you really this spineless? You think I'm spineless? She continued, pressing closer. Isn't it spineless to forgive her for giving you a green hat? I love her. You don't love her at all, she laughed coldly. From what I've seen these past few days, I haven't seen a trace of love from you. Just coldness and cruelty. My heartbeat quickened. I looked down to hide my expression. How did she notice? What went wrong? Cat got your tongue? She pressed. Did I hit a nerve? You want to torture her, take revenge on her? You even want her dead, don't you? A cold gleam flashed in my eyes. I looked up and stared at her. Liu Xin had appeared and completely disrupted all my plans. I had to Chongqing Buju and factor in this variable. I sat in my car, lit a cigarette, and stared at Liu Xin's window. I didn't move until the cigarette burned down to the filter. Then, I rolled up the window. I didn't touch Liu Xin. I didn't promise her anything either. Everything was left unsaid. Liu Li, I thought. Thank goodness you're not as smart as your sister. Otherwise, I'd be in real trouble. I let out a cold laugh and stepped on the gas, driving away. When I got home, Liu Li was still waiting for me on the couch. Her eyes shrank when she saw the red marks on my lips and the faint marks on my face. I left those there on purpose. I took off my jacket and threw it to her. Go to bed early. Don't wait for me anymore. Sometimes I don't know if I'll be coming back. She held my jacket and smelled it. Her expression darkened. She recognized Liu Xin's perfume. She wanted to confront me, but had no proof. Liu Xin, she thought with hatred. Are you trying to take my man too? I came out of the shower and sat down on the couch next to her. She suddenly gave me a sweet, bright smile that made my skin crawl. Husband, nothing happened between you and my sister, right? She said coquettishly. I'm just asking. I'm not blaming you. What could happen between us? I said seriously. Don't ruin her reputation. She's your cousin. She pulled out my jacket. And how come you smell like her perfume? I spent all day helping her move, I said. It's normal to smell like her. We stared at each other. Liu Li suddenly kissed me, then leaned her head on my shoulder. Husband, I'm sorry, she said. I've just been too sensitive. I picked her up and carried her into the bedroom. Wife, time to rest. The next morning, after Liu Li helped me get ready, I left the house feeling refreshed. Liu Li watched my car drive away, her eyes cold. Husband, don't do anything you'll regret, she thought. If you touch Liu Xin, don't blame me for being unkind. As soon as I got to the company, there was good news. Wang Lin, a company on Nanchang's Lipin, is hiring a manager. 100,000 reward. You should be interested. Li Shiyu's words immediately caught my attention. Sales manager, 300,000 annual salary plus dividends. Good conditions. Should we take it? She asked. If we can't find someone in a month, we owe 100,000. Li Shiyu warned. I'll take it, I said. My previous company's manager fits the profile. She's been wanting to leave for a while. I immediately called Yan Yu and set up a time to meet. I would ask if she was interested. I was scrolling through videos when a soft female voice sounded. Boss, can you help me find a job? I looked up and my eyes lit up. The girl was wearing a pure white dress and white sneakers. Her face was cute. Her black hair was soft and smooth. She gave off a simple, pure feeling. Little sister, why are you looking for work so early? I don't have any money, she said, blinking her innocent eyes. If I don't work, what else would I do? What kind of work are you looking for? I don't know how to do anything, she said. Something simple. I gave her all the job listings to choose from. She took the materials and sat on the couch. Boss, I have decision paralysis, she said politely. All these jobs look good. I don't know which one to pick. She puffed out her cheeks. I walked over to help guide her, pointing out the drawbacks of each factory. For some reason, I didn't want her to be polluted by the factory environment. Boss, don't lie to me, she said. Are these factories really that bad? Li Shiyu pulled me aside. Boss, don't get any bad ideas. We're fully staffed. Put her in Mingyang Electronics Factory. There's an interview at 2 o'clock. Take her there. I'm just afraid she'll get taken advantage of, I said. Factories aren't that dark. This is a society under the rule of law. I thought for a moment. Fine. I went back to the girl. She was pointing at a picture of Mingyang Electronics Factory. Boss, what about this one? Not bad, I said. Salary around 5,500. The work is easy and flexible. Suits you. Then I'll pick this one, she said. When is the interview? 2 o'clock. I'll take you there. At 2 o'clock I drove her to the interview. I looked at her through the rearview mirror. My name is Han Ning Shuang, she said. My name is Wang Lin, I said. If you ever need anything, come find me. If anyone in the factory bullies you, I'll help you handle it. Boss, don't worry, she said. I can protect myself. I don't take safety lightly. I drove in silence. My feelings for her weren't desire. They were an urge to protect her. Her innocence and purity struck me right in the heart. I was afraid my own darkness would dirty her. Don't call me boss, I said. You can call me Wang Lin. Calling you Lin Ge feels weird. At Mingyang Electronics Factory, I helped her with her luggage. Thank you, she said sincerely. There aren't many good bosses like you. Her sincere thanks made me feel good. Follow me. I'll take you to the interview. Wang Lin, she said nervously. Will the people in the factory bully new employees? No, don't worry, I said. That's good, she said. Interpersonal relationships are such a hassle. Ning Shuang, if you don't mind me asking, I sure can't. Do you have a boyfriend? Her face turned red. No, if I had a boyfriend, I wouldn't be out here doggone alone. Are you looking for one? I asked. There are plenty of handsome guys in the factory. A flicker of disappointment crossed her eyes. Forget it. I'll focus on making money first. I inexplicably breathed a sigh of relief. I took her to the office, then went next door to see Wang Yu. Brother Wang, long time no see. Brother Wang, what brings you here? He said warmly. Isn't this kind of work handled by your employees? I came personally this time because I have a favor to ask, I said, handing him a cigarette. I brought a girl. Can you arrange the easiest position for her? He stuck his head out the door to look at Han Ningshuang, then laughed. Are you interested in her? I didn't deny it. Then why not bring her to work at your own shop? We're fully staffed, I said. And I'm not divorced yet. His smile faded. He patted me on the shoulder. Brother Wang, that woman is useless. Keep her, and you'll only suffer. Divorce her as soon as possible. The best revenge is to make yourself better. Make her regret everything. His words shook me. Lu Li, what am I supposed to do with you? Think about it, he reminded me. Don't give up on finding love because of her. That girl is very pretty. Make a decision quickly. If she becomes someone else's girlfriend, you'll be full of regret. I clenched my fists. I won't. I'll handle my own affairs. Once I'm clean, I'll go after her. Wang Yu shook his head, walked into the office next door, and arranged for Han Ningshuang to be a clerk. The salary and treatment were decent. I had pulled some strings. I sat in my car, smoking. There were 5 or 6 cigarette butts on the ground. My feelings for Han Ningshuang were just fondness, not yet love. But my hatred for Lu Li was real. Still, Wang Yu's words had affected me deeply. Maybe I really should let her go. Let myself go. Forget it, I thought. Divorce. My future couldn't be ruined over her. Once I made that decision, the sorrow on my face lifted. Half an hour later, Han Ningshuang came running out excitedly. Wang Lin, thank you so much for finding me such a good job. As long as you're satisfied, I said with a smile. Staying in the dormitory or finding a place outside? She was a little shy. I'm not used to dormitories. Is there any rent nearby? Right here, I said, pointing at a nearby building. 20-minute commute. Rent around 500. Thank you, she said, picking up her luggage to go. I called out to her. Let me drive you. I can help you choose. Make sure the landlord doesn't cheat you. She couldn't refuse, so she got in my car. I took her to rent a 1-bedroom apartment. Then I helped her buy some necessities. We were busy until 4 in the afternoon. Wang Lin, thank you so much, she said gratefully. Let me buy you dinner. Not today, I said. I have a meeting with someone. Another time. She looked a little disappointed. Okay then. Go ahead with your work. After dropping her off, I drove to the coffee shop where I was supposed to meet Yan Yu. 20-something minutes later, Yan Yu appeared, making a fist-pumping gesture at me as she walked in. Wang Lin, now that you're not working under me, you've gotten brave. You dare to flirt with me on the phone? She sat down, pretending to be angry. I asked her if she was interested in jumping ship. She had concerns about the new company's environment and policies. I'll investigate the work environment and company culture for you, I said. Good. Collect the information and let me see. If she's not satisfied, we'll forget it. You're making money off me, you know. You need to compensate me. Order whatever you want. Anything. Not now, she said. I've already eaten. Next time. Just then my phone chimed. A message from Han Ningshuang. Wang Lin, thank you for today. I wanted to treat you to dinner, but you ran off. She attached a picture of some snacks. Yan Yu leaned over curiously and took a couple of pictures of my phone. She laughed. This little sister is pretty. How did you get her number? I snatched my phone back. Yanjie, don't mess with me. Han Ningshuang replied quickly. Wang Lin, is this your girlfriend? She's so beautiful and elegant. No, that's my former manager. I was discussing something with her, I explained. With that explanation, she definitely won't believe you, Yanyu mocked. This is all your fault, I said. My good reputation is ruined. You have to compensate me. How about I compensate you by giving myself to you? She joked. Forget it, I said. I don't deserve that. Are you saying I'm not pretty enough? She asked, her eyes glinting dangerously. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. Yanjie, you're too beautiful. I'm not good enough for you. You're so gorgeous you could outshine the moon and make flowers blush. You're so beautiful you could topple cities. I sat in the car, wiping cold sweat from my forehead. After flattering Yanyu for half an hour, she finally let me off. This woman is so annoying, I thought. If I could beat her in a fight, I'd make her kneel and sing Conquest. I lit a cigarette and pulled out my phone. Han Ningxuang hadn't replied. I sighed and sent, get some rest. You have work tomorrow. She instantly replied with an okay emoji. A small smile tugged at my lips. Looks like she's not mad. I got home. Li was sitting at the dining table, looking at her phone. Several dishes were laid out on the table. Husband, you're home. Have you eaten? She put down her phone and helped me off with my jacket. Don't wait for me anymore, I said coldly. Eat first. I have something to discuss with you later. Her hands paused on my jacket. Her face was full of worry. Husband, what do you want to talk about? First eat, I said. I walked to the table and started eating. After a few hurried bites, I sat on the couch and lit a cigarette. Li came and stood in front of me. The smoke just barely touched her face. Husband, what do you want to say? She asked quietly. I closed my eyes and took a drag. Li, let's get a divorce. She looked up at me, shocked and angry. Why? Haven't I been good enough? I'm carrying your child, and now you want a divorce? I won't agree. It's useless, I said. Whether you agree or not won't change anything. I've already made my decision. Don't make us end up in court. Let's at least save each other some face. Is it because of Lu Xin? She screamed. I opened my eyes and said calmly, you're not pretty when you're angry. Just tell me, is it or isn't it? Answer me. No, I said. I have nothing going on with her. I want a divorce because I've finally come to my senses. Think about it coldly. Divorce is best for both of us. I'll hear your answer tomorrow morning. Then she clutched my legs and begged, husband, don't go. I don't want a divorce. For the sake of the baby, please forgive me. I promise I'll be good. I'll do whatever you say. I was unmoved. Li, you're the one who destroyed our relationship. You don't have the right to beg me. I pulled her hands off me and walked toward the door. Wang Lin, she yelled, falling to the ground. If you dare leave, I'll kill myself. Go ahead, I said coldly. I'll come back tomorrow morning to collect your body. I closed the door and sat in the car. There was a hint of sadness on my face, but mostly relief. 3 or 4 years of this relationship, maybe it was for the best. Then I called my father-in-law. Dad, this is the last time I'm calling you that. Thank you for taking care of me these past few years. I'm planning to divorce Liu Li. Why? He asked. Weren't things going well? No reason, I said. I just don't love her anymore. Forcing ourselves to stay together would just be for show. I'm tired. Inside the house, Liu Li sat in the ruined living room, staring blankly. Her phone kept ringing. She grabbed it and threw it against the wall, shattering it into pieces. Then I called Chen Hai to come out for drinks, to drown my sorrows. Lin Gay, it's best that you finally come to your senses, he said. That kind of woman, you don't need her. But she used to hold my whole heart, I said. That's the past, he said. She herself destroyed your love for her. There's no use dwelling on the past. In marriage, betrayal is unforgivable. Once is never again. She's pregnant, I said. I know, he said. Only a month, not even formed yet. After the divorce, she'll handle it herself. Don't feel like you owe her anything. A complicated smile crossed my face. I didn't know if it was sadness or joy. Life is so absurd. I worked so hard to make money and support our family, and this is how it ends. Are all women this hard to please? When you don't have money, they cheat you. When you're busy making money, they say you're never around. Lin Gay, he said, that's just reality. People nowadays only look ahead. Online they say the rich are happily married, the poor witness it with their own eyes. You can make money you won't lack for women. What you lack is someone who truly wants to grow old with you. Liu Li isn't worthy. Just find someone who is. Chen Hai was drunk. His words flowed freely. Yeah, I said. The rich are happily married, the poor witness it with their own eyes. Making money is what really matters. Last night I drank until I threw up, then kept drinking. I didn't even know how the night ended. I woke up with a pounding headache and sat up. The surroundings were unfamiliar. It wasn't a hotel. I just wanted to get out of there. I got up, couldn't find the bathroom, and opened the door. A delicious smell wafted toward me, and I saw Li Shiyu. Wang Lin, you're awake, she said, putting down the ladle and walking over. Why did you drink so much? Last night I was afraid you'd drink yourself to death. Shiyu, is this your house? I asked. How did you bring me here? You were as drunk as a dog and called me to come pick you up, she said scornfully. If it weren't for the fact that I'm afraid of not getting paid, I wouldn't have brought you here. Sorry, I said awkwardly. And thank you for last night. I turned to leave. What's the hurry? She said. Look at the gunk in your eyes. Your hair looks like a rat's nest. Are you really going out like that? The bathroom is over there. Go wash up. She grabbed me. I touched the corner of my eye, wishing I could disappear into the floor. I escaped into the bathroom. I grabbed a random towel to wipe my face. When I turned around, Li Shiyu was standing in the doorway, her face red. Are you trying to die? She said angrily, snatching the towel. That's my bath towel you wiped your face with. Are you doing this on purpose? Sorry, I said sheepishly. I forgot this is your house. She threw me a new towel. Don't touch my things again. She walked off, holding the towel I had used. I washed up quickly and came out of the bathroom, facing Li Shiyu, my face flushed. Shiyu, thank you. I'm going now. I made millet congee, she said. Drink some before you go. Unable to refuse, I sat down. I'm not coming into work today, boss. You figure it out, she said, bringing out 2 small side dishes. I won't dock your pay, I said, drinking the congee guiltily. Why did you drink so much yesterday? She asked. Because of your wife? I put down the spoon. Something like that. But it's taken care of. She's not my wife anymore. I'm single now. I'll give you a chance to chase me. You'd better act fast, I joked. Get out of here, she said, rolling her eyes. You sure think highly of yourself. She ignored me after that. When I got home, the living room was a mess. I kicked some broken pieces out of the way and walked inside. Liu Li was sitting on the couch, completely unresponsive. Have you thought about it? I asked calmly. She didn't move. I reached out and touched her. Only then did she look up, her eyes red, her voice hoarse. Please don't do this to me. We've been together for years. A clean break is best for both of us, I said. Wang Lin, she asked, did you ever love me? I was silent for a moment, then nodded. I loved you, but only before all of this happened. You think I'm dirty, she said. It's not about your body being dirty or not, I said. If I thought you were dirty, I wouldn't have touched you. It's your heart that changed. You're no longer the Liu Li I knew. My love for you is gone. If we force ourselves to stay together now, you'd be nothing more than a friend with benefits to me. Not a wife. Not a spouse. Is that so? She looked dazed, muttering to herself. I pulled out the divorce papers. Liu Li, let go. I don't want to keep Zhou Chining. Just sign. She snatched the papers and tore them to shreds. I didn't stop her. Tearing them won't help, I said. I have plenty more. Today, we're getting divorced. I won't agree. I won't sign, she yelled angrily. Is this helping anything, I said. Whether you sign or not, we're still getting divorced. I'll just have to go through a little more trouble. We don't need to drag this out. We used to have feelings for each other. A mutual divorce is best for everyone. Best for you maybe, she said. Look at what I'm going through. The online abuse, the looks I get when I go outside. What will happen to me if we divorce? Do you want me to die? I was getting angry too. You brought this on yourself. Did I tell you to cheat? Did I force you? What right do you have to blame me? You're the one who wronged me. Liu Li suddenly fell silent. Thank you for still being willing to give me over 200,000, she said. It's nothing, I said sarcastically. Consider it payment for all these years of sleeping with you. She clenched her fists and glared at me. What do you take me for? A prostitute on the street? You're not, I said. You're worse than them. At least they do it for money. What was your reason? She gritted her teeth and signed the papers. I'll sign. But this isn't enough money. I'm still carrying your child. You need to take responsibility. I'll give you another 50,000 as compensation, I said. After that, we're done. She laughed coldly. One last question. Have you ever betrayed me? I put away the papers. Not before. But since then, I've been with at least 5 women. So you're really no better than me, she said. In this marriage, we both betrayed each other. If that makes you feel better, I have no objection, I said indifferently. Pack up. We're going to the Civil Affairs Bureau to register. Can you tell me why you suddenly want a divorce? She asked. I didn't answer. I took the papers and walked out. Downstairs, my in-laws were waiting for me. Xiao Wang. What did you mean by that phone call last night? Why the sudden divorce? Did Liu Li do something wrong again? My father-in-law asked. No, I said. I just can't get past what happened. Ever since her affair, I've been thinking about divorce. I finally made up my mind today. We're going to the Civil Affairs Bureau. If you want to follow, get in the car. My tone was calm and distant. Liu Li came out and saw her parents. She lowered her head in shame. My father-in-law raised his hand and slapped her across the face. Liu Li, what have you done now? He demanded. She held her face, wiped a trace of blood from the corner of her mouth, and looked at him defiantly. This is my business. Stay out of it. My father-in-law was so angry, he clutched his chest, struggling to breathe. My mother-in-law rushed to comfort him. Old Liu, don't get worked up, she said. Liu Li softened her tone. Dad, don't get involved in this. She wants a divorce. No matter what I do, I can't change her mind. If I have to live so humbly, I might as well get divorced. I stood by, watching coldly. When my father-in-law got worked up, I raised my hand to comfort him, then hesitated and put it back down. We were about to get divorced. She and my mother-in-law were no longer any relation to me. I didn't want to get caught up in it again. To be honest, my fondness for my in-laws was 100 times greater than my fondness for Liu Li. A small part of me was actually reluctant to let them go. Liu Hua finally caught his breath, but he couldn't say anything to Liu Li. The crowd of onlookers was growing. I was getting impatient. Let's talk about this at home, I said. Liu Li, you still need to come with me to the Civil Affairs Bureau. If you're coming, get in the car. I'm busy, I don't have time to waste. Liu Hua looked at me, sighed and lowered his hand. Fine, I won't get involved in your affairs. Shu Qin, let's go home. He could understand why I wanted the divorce, but he couldn't bring himself to tell me to stay with Liu Li. It was just too shameful. In that moment, he actually hated that he didn't have money. Maybe if he had money, he could have kept me. Wang Shuqin looked at Liu Li, then at me, and just sighed. She stepped forward and hugged me. Xiao Wang, you're a good kid, she said. I won't train you. I don't blame you. My daughter just isn't good enough for you. My heart stirred slightly. I opened my mouth, but only coldness came out. Mom, you've been a great mother-in-law. Liu Li's mistakes aren't your fault. Take care of yourselves. I wasn't made of stone. I couldn't be truly heartless. Wang Shuqin gave me one last look, then turned and walked after her husband. I looked coldly at Liu Li. Let's go. She looked at her parents' retreating figures, then at the crowd of people pointing and whispering. Her expression was calm as she opened the car door and got inside. I lit a cigarette and got in too. I rolled down the window and threw away the cigarette after just 2 puffs. Maybe it was habit. Maybe it was one last act of kindness toward her. At 10 in the morning, we arrived at the Civil Affairs Bureau. I handed over the divorce papers and our documents. The staff member collected everything and looked at us. Have you really thought this through? She asked, trying to mediate. True connection is hard to find. Don't act on impulse and regret it later. I gave a warm smile. Meeting the wrong person at the right time, even passing each other by, is a kind of fate. Liu Li suddenly felt regret, but she couldn't bring herself to beg me. The staff member noticed her hesitation and continued persuading. Every marriage has its ups and downs, she said. That's what makes a home. Can you tell me why you want to divorce? I looked at Liu Li and laughed softly. Liu Li, she wants to know why. Should I save you some face? The staff member immediately understood and stopped asking. Since it's private, I won't pry, but mutual understanding and respect are important. Liu Li bit her lip. Tears silently rolled down her face. But this time, she didn't beg for forgiveness. She could feel it. I had completely let go. I didn't even want revenge anymore. The tears seemed to drip onto my heart, causing a slight ache. The smile on my face slowly faded. I had loved her for 3 or 4 years. I still had the habit of hating to see her cry, but I couldn't care about that anymore. I had finally given up the idea of revenge. I couldn't fall back into that trap. Divorce was the best thing for her. The information has been recorded, the staff member said, handing back our documents. You have a 30-day waiting period. If you change your mind, you can cancel the registration at any time. I put my things away. Thank you, I said, expressionlessly. I walked away. She quickly ran after me, her eyes red, following behind me. I crouched under a big tree outside the building and lit a cigarette, watching the people coming and going from the Civil Affairs Bureau. There were smiles here. There was coldness, too. It was the beginning of a new life and the end of an old one. Everyone has their own story. Lee, I said without turning around. I'll contact you after the house is sold. I walked toward my car without looking back. Lee reached out as if to stop me, but the words wouldn't come. She watched the car drive away, then collapsed on the ground, sobbing silently. Pitiable people always have hateful qualities. She did this to herself. She destroyed the most precious thing she had. I drove aimlessly through Nanchang, the city I had lived in for over 20 years. For the first time, I felt truly alone. When I was sad, I didn't even have a place to lie down and rest. A home is a home because there are people you care about inside. Without them, it's just a pile of concrete and bricks. It was over. Everything was over. But Wang Lin was still Wang Lin. During the waiting period, I quickly listed the marital home for sale. In the end, it sold for 800,000, more than 200,000 below market value. I called Liu Li to come home and pack up her personal belongings. This was the last time we would be alone together before the divorce. While she was packing, she suddenly came up behind me and hugged me. Through her sobs, she poured out her regrets, admitting that she had been blinded by temptation. Then, I took out 400,000 in cash and handed it to her. I made it clear that this was the final compensation, on the condition that she terminate the pregnancy. Although Liu Li was very unwilling, I didn't want to have any further connection with her. I suspect she knew that even if she kept the child, there would be no future for us. In the end, she agreed. I accompanied her to terminate the pregnancy. Then I took her back to her hometown to recover. When I left, all I said was, take care of yourself. Don't make the same mistakes again. Then I turned and left. I didn't look back. I completely severed this twisted connection. After that, whenever I had free time, I still went to Mingyong Electronics Factory to visit Han Ningxuang. After multiple Jechuan conversations with her, I realized that what I felt for her wasn't love. It was more of a protective instinct. Our life experiences and our values, they were just not on the same wavelength. Even if I could pursue and win her over, it wouldn't last. And so, I let go of that protective feeling entirely. Time passed, day by day. I threw all my energy into work. Li Shiyu was truly exceptional. She thought of everything, for the company and for me. One day, as soon as I arrived at the company, Li Shiyu hurried over to me. Wang Lin, I need to talk to you about Noncong Group. She logged into her account on the computer and pulled up some Zhonglihao the notes. I know you've been collecting job information from their company recently. I looked into it for you. Their previous sales manager left for personal reasons. They also sent some videos of the work environment, and I searched online. Their general manager, Tang Yu, seems to be a decent person. He doesn't have any negative press. It shouldn't be the kind of place where people get bullied. Sister Shiyu, Lucy said from the side, you took the day off today just to research this. I feel like you're giving off major woman of the house vibes. You're so thoughtful. If I were the boss, I would definitely marry you. Li Shiyu rolled her eyes at her. Then you'd better start sucking up to me, or one day I'll fire you, or deduct your pay. Lucy laughed. Sister Shiyu, from now on you'll just have to chew food under Sister Shiyu's might. Lin Ming joked. Sister Shiyu, no, I was wrong. Lucy put on a pitiful expression. I didn't take the women's joke seriously, but I could sense that Li Shiyu's feelings for me were different, and I didn't seem to mind. After carefully reviewing the information Li Shiyu had prepared, I looked up. Shiyu, thank you. This is exactly what I needed. To show my sincerity, I plan to personally deliver the materials to Yan Yu the next day, to make sure this 100,000 yuan deal went through. To thank my employees for their hard work, I treated everyone to a big meal. During the meal, Li Shiyu singled me out. This is a group thing. You have to treat me separately. I smiled and agreed. After that, I successfully helped Yan Yu get hired at Nancong Group, and collected the 100,000 reward. A few days later, Chen Hai and I asked Li Shiyu to a casual dinner at a small outdoor food stall. With a little alcohol in her, Li Shiyu hinted that now that I was divorced, I should consider a new life, and the people around me weren't so bad. I pretended not to understand and changed the subject. Li Shiyu casually mentioned the sale of the house. She calculated that I had lost over 200,000 yuan. That happened when I realized I had been cheated by the real estate agent, but I didn't want to waste any more energy on it. I chose to let it go. Chen Hai saw Li Shiyu's feelings and quietly kicked me under the table, a signal to seize the opportunity. The mood between the three of us became a little subtle. In the glances exchanged between Li Shiyu and me, there was something more, something that couldn't be put into words. A year later, with the help of Chen Hai and Li Shiyu, the company's business had continuously grown. As I spent more time with Li Shiyu, our relationship became very nuanced. Lu Xin would still come by occasionally to bother me, but I always treated her calmly. I never gave her any false hope. After that, I planned to buy a new house. I took the initiative to invite Li Shiyu to come look at properties with me. With her experience bargaining and her understanding of the real estate market, she managed to save me 250,000 on the price, a significant amount. After signing the purchase agreement, I joked, I'll leave the decoration of the house to you. After all, we'll be living there together, eventually. Li Shiyu's cheeks flushed. She shyly replied, that depends on how you behave. The first time I applied for the property deed, I only put my own name. Li Shiyu saw this and teased me. You really are a business person, always keeping a backup plan. We joked around, and the atmosphere of Aimai grew stronger. As we were leaving the property center, Li Shiyu stood on her tiptoes and kissed me. That kiss officially marked the beginning of our romantic relationship. I immediately pulled her back into the property center and added Li Shiyu's name to the deed. We picked out a renovation company together. When it came to deciding on the Zhuangshi style, I completely respected Li Shiyu's preferences. I supported her ideas all the way. During the renovation, Li Shiyu and I made our relationship public at the shop. The employees all applauded and celebrated. Lu Xin happened to come to the shop that day. She was particularly disappointed, but she could only offer her silent congratulations. Someone as smart as her had probably already expected that I wouldn't choose her. She just hadn't been willing to give up. Now it was time for her to step away completely. Chen Hai patted my shoulder, genuinely happy that I had finally moved on from the past and found happiness. In our company, Darun Human Resources Co. Limited, our reputation grew. The number of partner factories kept increasing. Business was thriving. As for Lu Li, after leaving Nanchang with the 400,000 severance payment, she simply vanished without a trace. No one mentioned her again. 2 years later, I married Li Shiyu. After the wedding, we had a beautiful child together. Our family was complete.